welcome everybody to another BDA Boxing Podcast, broadcasting to you live from the true north. This is your host, Mr. BDA, and along with me, as usual, my co-host, King Bucho. King, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Sensational. Now, guys, you know the drill. If you want to join us, send us an instant message via Google Hangouts at the email address on the top of your screen, boxingdebate@hotmail.com. That is boxingdebate@hotmail.com. We got a lot to talk about in this special early week podcast. A lot going on, believe it or not. Got a good set of fights coming up in the month of May, and a couple in June as well. So we're going to keep an eye on those fights. There's a lot going on in terms of boxing and outside of the ring entertainment. Somebody sent us a link about, well, anyway, some shenanigans that are going on outside the ring. So we're going to keep an eye on that and we're going to talk about it. First of all, I want to talk about Gennady Golovkin because we didn't know the numbers coming in the day after the fight. Well, apparently, so far, the Golovkin-Martirosyan cable boxing show from HBO did 1.3 million. It doesn't say if it peaked at 1.3. All I can see from the Boxing Scene article by Keith Idek is that viewers weren't afforded much time, but that didn't stop more than 1.3 million of them from tuning in to watch Gennady Golovkin. Luis Ortiz versus Wilder apparently peaked at 1.2, and its average was 1.1. So that fight went about 8 rounds or something like that. Golovkin-Martirosyan only went for 2, so we don't know if he would have gone down as the fight went on or whatever, but 1.3, it is so far the most watched boxing match in 2018. Just goes to show you that boxing, all right, pay-per-view, I think it's a difficult proposition for anybody right now to do 1 million pay-per-view buys. You're looking at Canelo as well. When he took on Cotto, I don't think it went 1 million. I think it edged on 1 mil, but it stayed at about more than 900,000. Canelo versus Chavez, I think it did. You know what? Let me check it out. Canelo Chavez pay-per-view numbers, and because I think that one didn't do 1 million either. Now remember, these numbers can be manipulated. Remember that he said that supposedly Ortiz versus Mayweather back in 2011 did 1 point something, and it turns out that it didn't really do that much, but there was some obfuscation or you know, there were some shadow play going on. But here I'm looking at, and it says supposedly from ESPN, Canelo versus Chavez Jr. crosses historic 1 million mark. All right, so that's, we're going to have to assume that, but it didn't really do all that much. But anyway, before we continue on that, I just want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat room. Hakuna Matata, Louise Blanc, Michael Stott, Graphic Prod, 100% X, Koran Bread, Fam Ollie. Thank you guys for tuning in. Oh, and by the way, we do have to, do we point this out now, Bucho, or later on? About the what's
Patreon?
It called?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I can do it now.
You can do it now. All right, guys, we do finally set up a Patreon. Fuck, how do you say it? Patreon?
Patreon or Patreon? I think it's Patreon, man.
My fucking accent. I don't know. But yeah, we got that set up. So there you guys have it there. Just a little preview. And we finally, Bucho and myself, we went over, we brainstormed to see what we could come up with, you know, some guidelines, some regulations. We're not asking for much. It's just to get a new microphone stand or a new monitor. That's really the main thing. And I mean, if you go on that page there, you can see what we got planned for the future. Some really nice stuff. Maybe some podcasts, some actual podcasts. You know what I mean? Not some.
Yeah, we want to get a subscription so we can upload the podcasts. So you guys can download the podcast and then listen to it on the go. Also, we want a subscription because we're going to start a call-in show. So you also have to subscribe for that. You have to pay per month. So I guess if we all pitch in, we can get that, and we can have a call-in show with a phone number and all. So.
All right. So going back to the Golovkin numbers, it's pretty hard for anybody. You look at Canelo. Okay, let's say he did do 1 million against Chavez Jr. Even Canelo Golovkin didn't do as much as they thought, I think. I think it did at one point. They said they were happy with the results, but you just never know. They like to bullshit as well. So the point is this. It's very hard to be make a lot of money on the pay-per-view right now, a lot of numbers. But when it comes to cable or basic cable, they can still do pretty good numbers. I mean, you look at Broner, you look at Jacobs, they did about 800,000 views. I think they peaked at that. Now you see Golovkin. Remember, Chavez Jr., when he was fighting at some point, he was doing very good numbers on HBO. That was before he started losing to Martinez and all those guys, but he was doing some good numbers. So boxing is still alive. And the thing that counts the most is sometimes is the crowds as well. You know, Golovkin draws crowds on both sides. So of the East Coast, West Coast. And if he fought in Europe, I'd love to see what type of numbers he could do in Kazakhstan in terms of audience. So we got a lot to look forward to with Golovkin. At least he's pulling in strong cable numbers. And that probably means that, let's say he doesn't fight Canelo in the future, but if he fights somebody else, there's a demand to see Gennady Golovkin fight. And that's what boxing really needs. The guys fighting the best or trying to, and even if they don't fight the best, at least they take him out in concussive fashion. I don't know if that's really a real word or real term to call a performance concussive, but hey, that's all I got so far, all right? What do you want from me? Also in the news, well, I'll wait for more people to get here or for Bucho to get back, but I mean, I'm looking at Donnie Stevenson says he'd drill Kovalev. All right, he's pretty confident. Then Badou Jack comes out and he says that he doesn't see Adonis Stevenson as being as difficult an opponent as the last 5 people he's fought. Now, let me tell you, Badou Jack has had some of the best resumes out there. He's fought some real legit opposition. But Adonis Stevenson, you look at the guy's back, man. That's how I analyze strength. Look at a guy's back. It tells you a lot of what type of frame we're working with here. And Adonis Stevenson is a short, a little bit of a short guy for light heavyweight, but he's got long arms and he's built like a brick house, man. So I don't know if Badou Jack is going to be able, because again, and I've said this in the film analysis over on this channel. Check him out. I think we did about 4 film analysis for the Badou Jack versus Stevenson fight. Badou Jack likes to block shots with his gloves. That's really his main defense. And Adonis Stevenson has a type of power that can break through a guy's defense. So for Badou Jack, I think at this point he's just being braggadocious and he's trying to psych himself up because I don't think he has an easy time with Stevenson. By the way, I see we have Stu on the line.
I wasn't back. I told you what's going to happen. Price. I told you he's going to be sleeping. I told you the ambulance is going to come. The oxygen mask is going to come out. I told you he's going to miss the main event. I told you all them things were going to happen.
That's right.
What's happening, boys?
Hello, Stu. Good to have you back as always. Always a pleasure having you on the show. All right, so I was just starting talking about Golovkin's numbers here in North America. Apparently, he did 1.3, and that was against a guy, late replacement, guy who hadn't fought in more than a year. What does it say about Golovkin? Should he be staying, if he's not going to fight Canelo, should he just stay fighting on HBO, on cable television? Or should he try, let's say if he faces somebody like Saunders or something, should they try to put that on pay-per-view?
Well, it's like this. It depends on the opponent, isn't it? Mm-hmm. You know, a pay-per-view fight has to be a worthy pay-per-view fight. Billy Joe Saunders is a pay-per-view fight in America, but then when it just depends who the opponent is, bro. You know, it's Golovkin. I don't think Golovkin's a sort of guy like, say, Anthony Joshua, where he could fight a fucking bum and it'll be on pay-per-view. I don't think Golovkin has that sort of clout, but he has enough clout to demand a pay-per-view with a good opponent and get great numbers when it's obviously on normal HBO.
Right. Yeah, that's the truth. It's opponent dependent. But I mean, you would have thought against Daniel Jacobs, young, strong fighter in his prime, you would have thought he would have done better numbers. What happened there? Is it just Mayweather Pacquiao? Did that destroy the pay-per-view industry for everybody?
You nailed it on the head. Of course it did. I mean, let's be real. $100 is a lot of money, you know, to anybody, whether you got it or not. It's a lot of money to spend on a fight that could be over in a minute.
Right.
But when you're paying $100 for a fight, you expect some sort of entertainment, and we didn't get that. We got the 2 best fighters of an era stink the joint out. And I know a lot of you Manny Pacquiao fans on here won't like to hear that, but Manny was poor as well. Floyd was negative as per usual, and Manny didn't let his hands go. Whether it's the injury or not, I'm not going to say it wasn't. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But he just wouldn't let his hands go. And it was just a very poor fight. I mean, I see a lot of comments about this fight from just casual fans, a lot of women as well, that were, well, they said what a load of shit it was. And these were women that didn't really know anything about fighting, but they knew it was a shit fight. They could see that. You don't have to be educated to see that.
Yeah, it's interesting because when I went to see the fight in the bar, and the general atmosphere after the fight was as if we just all seen somebody get run over by a car. I mean, it was a very somber, very, very grim, I would say. Cameron, I think you got your speakers on, man. Because I can hear.
Man. I got a new laptop, man. I literally got it earlier today, so I haven't sorted it out yet, but yeah, I'm here.
All right, perfect. Yeah, just that thing. I mean, like the Golovkin, the Pacquiao-Mayweather fight really, I think, left a bad taste in everybody's mouth. And also when you count that the economy isn't the best right now, and when you count in, or you factor in the fact that people can watch it on the internet. These pay-per-views and everything, people are caught in the court, people are getting this Android boxes, and they pay $10 a month and they can watch everything, pay-per-view included. So that's kind of might be hurting people a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's just boxing is greedy. It's a greedy sport, boxing. The promoters are greedy. Stations are greedy. You know, look at the pay-per-views we're having to put up with. Even in the UK, where it's a lot cheaper than America, it's still. I'm getting to the stage where I'm having to have a look again and stop watching and stop paying for some of these fights. Not because I can't afford it, because out of principle, bro. I can't just keep spending money on garbage cards, man. Like I said, that you know, you might as well just go and give the money to a tramp on the street and tell him to go and get his fucking dog some dog food or something. Because you know, at the end of the day, we're not getting value for money. So there's a time. It's like anything. When you go somewhere, it's like if you go to a restaurant and the food's constantly shit and you're not getting value for money. You're not going to keep going paying for the same food every week. There's going to be a time when you say enough's enough. And I'm at that stage now with boxing, and a lot of fans are like that. That's why we're suffering with the numbers. And I bet you any life Joshua's numbers are going to start going down as well if we don't start fighting someone, you know, decent.
Nobody is immune from having bad pay-per-view numbers. I mean, just remember when Pacquiao and Mayweather weren't fighting each other, eventually the pay-per-view numbers started going down. And people started saying, fuck, if you're not going to fight each other, that's it. We're not going to tune in anymore. By the way, we got, Cameron on the line, and you know what that means.
Fuck, mate, it's life, man. You only live once. Make the most of life. Enjoy it. Because everybody's got their weird fetishes, man. And mine just happens to be eating fucking ass.
All right. Cameron, thank you for being on. As always, always appreciate you being on the show. So what do you think? I mean, I don't know if you heard what we were talking about, but Golovkin versus Martirosyan apparently here in North America peaked at about 1.3 million views. Pretty good numbers for basic cable and HBO, but it's, you know, other than getting good numbers on cable TV, it seems like pay-per-view, unless you're Canelo or Joshua over in the UK, you can't really do that great numbers.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, sorry, man. I've got a new laptop, man, so I'm not really sure what's going on here. But yeah, I mean, Golovkin. I mean, I'm not surprised by those numbers. You know, Golovkin's always been a big sort of draw, just not a pay-per-view star. You know, obviously you saw that with the Moo fight. I think the Jacobs fight was on pay-per-view as well. You know, when he fought Kell Brook, you know, big numbers, but that's because, you know, it's UK fans and, you know, Eddie Hearn and everything like that. They sell it well. Golovkin's a big name over here. So yeah, 1.3 million viewers is quite. It's actually very good considering the fact that a lot of people didn't like the fight. But, you know, a lot of people just like watching Golovkin fight. You know, especially when, you know, I think a lot of people felt like that Varnas fight was going to be, you know, a typical Golovkin performance, you know, a typical knockout like it was, and that's probably why they tuned in. But Golovkin's always been a big draw. He's just never been able to sell, you know, big pay-per-view buys unless it's been with somebody like Canelo or someone like that. You know, Golovkin on his own isn't a pay-per-view draw, but he's a big sort of, he's got a big marketability factor about him outside of that.
Well, it's interesting because people seem to rely on pay-per-view numbers to say that, or to declare a death sentence on boxing or UFC as well. You know, they go like, oh, well, it's not, these guys can do this type of pay-per-view numbers. There's no pay-per-view star, so that means boxing is dead. look, if it's put on basic cable or on premium cable, people are still tuning in as long as the guys are entertaining. So,
what about Wilder's numbers? Do you have any? What were they again?
I think it was. Fuck. Let me check it out. But I think it was
I heard
pretty
that
good.
Wilder against Joshua is $100 million fight. So Golovkin did 3.3 million. So,
well, I mean,
is he like a godlike figure now, or?
Let me check it out. I think there were good numbers. I know attendance-wise, people didn't really flock to watch it live, but it averaged 1.1 million views on Showtime. Pretty good. Pretty good, let me tell you. So, I mean, if you want to use the pay-per-view numbers,
I haven't seen the LDBC do any videos on these numbers though.
Forget the LDBC, man. I mean, we're gonna get to them later on. We'll get to them later on.
Had to say it, man.
And by the way, can I just say something here, guys? Graphic Prod jumps on the listen, Graphic. I'm glad you came on the show the other day. It was nice, you know. You held your ground. But come on, man, you got like you just jumped on the chat now, and right away, Triple G sucks, Triple G sucks, like, didn't you? I mean, I think the guy's delusional, man.
It's just hate, man.
It's hate.
You don't even address this type of people.
I know, but I'm
first
compelled.
time he was shitting on Lomachenko, and now he's shitting on Golovkin. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just compelled. I mean, you know what? I was trying to keep away. I was trying to keep these gorillas like Cameron, Stu. Recognize they all wanted to jump in, and I was trying to hold back and say, no, I want to ask him some questions. Otherwise, it's 5 against 1. But I'm thinking maybe the only way for him to like wake up or something would be to let these guys on him. Because remember, Recognize shafted him with what question? Precise shafted him. I mean, the guy couldn't even name you the top opponents that Crawford had ever fought. I mean, I'm not saying you have to know every name in boxing, but if you don't know the basics of the guy that you're comparing to Lomachenko, for example. Because that's what happened, by the way. For anybody that didn't listen, he was saying that Crawford was better than Lomachenko, and then recognized, or somebody asked him, I forget, name the opponents that are better than Lomachenko, and he couldn't do it. Right? I think that was a question.
No,
right?
No. What it was, he said Lomachenko gets no credit from him because he fought no top 5 130 fighters. But according to him, Terence Crawford was pound for pound. So I asked him, can you name me 5 top solid opponents at 140 that Terence Crawford fought? And he fell to pieces. It was over after that.
He was looking. He was in box rec, looking at trying to find names here and there.
He mentioned Delorme, but he didn't even say his name properly. He said Dol Orm or something, or Delorme.
Delorme, yeah.
He didn't even. Yeah, but he didn't even get the name right. So if you're going to come on here and argue and troll us and try and claim that Lomachenko's a bum, when you're coming with your side of the story, at least get the fucking story right. You know what I mean?
The thing he was saying, he was coming out saying things like, "Oh, people say Lomachenko's the greatest of all time. He's got the best resume of all time." I've never heard one person say that. I don't know where he was coming from.
I've heard the section of super hardcore Lomachenko fans, which aren't really boxing fans, just like the Mayweather fans aren't really Mayweather fans, or the Wilder fans aren't really boxing fans. You know what I mean? And now he's saying that we're biased. You just showed your bias. But all right, do you want to? This guy's. I mean, I think this guy's insane, man. Because every time he comes on the chat, it's right away, Triple G sucks, Triple G sucks. Like, all right, we get it. You don't like Triple G. You think he's overrated.
Can we please complex or something?
He's talking about. Oh well, Gamboa was a gold medalist, but Gamboa was a small guy fighting Terence Crawford. It was like a massive welterweight in there against a fucking 130 fighter. And so we're not, and we're talking professional boxing here. And as for Felix Diaz, I mean, what the fuck has he done in the pros? It don't matter. Audley Harrison won a gold medal in the Olympics. Exactly. Audley Harrison. I mean, we all know what happened to him in the pros. We're talking the pro game here. All right, I don't mind people talking about the Olympics when you've got a resume like Golovkin, Lomachenko, and even Rigondeaux. When you've got them sort of resumes in the amateurs where you can, or USIC, where you can claim multiple gold medals, then we'll talk about it. But, you know, anyone can just win a gold medal. James DeGale won a gold medal. You know, and look, he's getting bashed up by everybody right now. So
exactly. Listen, I'll say this.
Crawford was getting hit by Gamboa just, you know, because he was playing around.
All right, let me just say, there's only this is all I'm going to say. This is all I'm going to say to Graphic. You can say whatever you want here, but if it's nonstop, I look at the chat to see if people are making funny comments or something, and they're not. They're just addressing the same comments that you make over and over again. So in this case, I'm gonna have to either put you on timeout, and if you keep this shit up, I think we're just gonna have to kick you out of the chat room, man, because you're disrupting the chat room. Nobody's having fun.
That comment, man, he's just put in the chat saying Golovkin stuck in Floyd. That guy's a troll, man. That's just pure troll. Or at least come back on the show, and I'll let you duke it out with all these guys here. I won't interrupt. I'll interrupt just to moderate, but I'll let these guys go after you, man. I mean, because what you're saying.
Because if he wants to talk about gold medalists being solid wins on resumes, then Lomachenko's about to fight Linares, and he has a gold medalist on his resume. He beat Luke Campbell. Luke Campbell's a gold medalist.
Exactly.
The thing is, man, like he gave. Sorry, bro.
No, go on. It doesn't mean anything. This is my point. Gold medalist doesn't mean anything, really, unless you're a real solid amateur with the Lomachenko, Rigondeaux, and Golovkin records. Then we can talk about that.
But didn't he criticise Lomachenko for beating Rigondeaux, who's a 2-time gold medalist?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I just don't get this guy, man.
But look, listen. My point is this. I don't care if he wants to criticize Golovkin or Lomachenko or Wilder or whoever. If he thinks they're overrated, fine. But when it's nonstop in the chat room and people aren't even posting funny comments or anything or interesting comments because they're too busy addressing this guy, which is nonstop again every fucking episode. Come on, Graphic, either calm down or you're gonna have to go, man. All right, and then you'll be a martyr for life, and you'll say, "Oh, I got kicked off the BDA chat room." Fine. Whatever. Maybe that's what you want in the end of the day. But listen.
I mean, yeah, because Lomachenko's fought nobody, but Derijan's a solid win, isn't it?
Well, I will say that Derijan is a solid G.
Hank Lundy.
Yeah, Hank Lundy, yeah.
All right, by the way, we got Recognize the Matrix in the chat. I mean, the
Don't get fooled when they tell you that the crime rate is down in New York. Every time I watch the local news, they're always talking about, well, there was a stabbing here, there was a stabbing there was a shooting there, but the crime is down.
And we also have Pavel on the line.
Go ahead, Charlie, keep dancing.
That's all I got right now. But guys, thanks for being on the show. Always appreciate your input. And yeah, we were just talking about the Gennady Golovkin. But by the way, I got to bring up some other news here. Apparently, according to Boxing Scene, Bruce Willis has agreed to play Cus D'Amato in a new movie that's going to detail the relationship between D'Amato and a young Mike Tyson. I think it's going to be about that 13-year-old Mike Tyson. First of all, I don't know how old Bruce Willis is, but he's going to have to gain a little weight. And second of all, who are they going to get to play a 13-year-old Mike Tyson? It's going to have to be like a 30-year-old, because that's what Tyson looked like when he was 13. He looked like a fucking grown man already.
Let's get Luis Ortiz to play him.
As long as it end up fucking weirdo Will Smith's son, I don't care.
What about Miguel Cotto's son?
No way. None of this
That's what I'm saying. It's not going to be easy to find a guy that looks as brutal as Mike Tyson in his prime, man.
Well, all you got to do is look at some of these 13-year-olds today. I'm sure you'll find one.
That's true.
Just grab a skinny black guy and put steroids in him for a few months, and there you go.
Well, remember when they said that they wanted? Remember when they said that they wanted Jamie Foxx to play Mike Tyson? I'm thinking, well, he's going to have to gain a lot of weight, first of all, and second of all, I don't know if he can. Yeah.
We'll leave Jamie Foxx to do Ray Charles and everybody else, but not Mike Tyson, man. Fuck's sake.
You get Jamie Foxx to play Sean Porter. There's a big lookalike there.
Oh, yeah. That's true. That's fucking true. And
I mean, I thought Will Smith was hot when Will Smith played Ali. I thought he was horrible. I really did. I couldn't watch it.
You're not the only one.
I'm not saying Will Smith. I'm not saying Will Smith's a bad actor. He's not a bad actor. He's quite good, but I just don't think he was the right man for that role. To be honest with you, I think Cuba Gooding Jr. would have been better for the role. To be honest with you, but I think he might be too short. But I just didn't think Will Smith did that role any justice at all. I thought he overdid the Ali act, shall I say. I thought he overdid it, and I just don't think it was just not a very good film for me.
If there was ever a Roy Jones story, Cuba Gooding Jr. would be perfect.
Yes. I've always said it. I've always said it.
There's a resemblance there. Bro.
Yeah, definitely.
But you got tucking his neck when he talks.
He got tucking his neck and say, "I would have been brutally disqualified."
Oh Jesus!
Oh, did you guys?
I know who can play Tyson, isn't it? 50 Cent.
That's a good. Yeah.
That wouldn't be bad. Yeah.
Because he's stocky like him.
Yeah, I watched him in this film the other day. I mean, he's a block of wood when it comes to acting, but he looks the part, doesn't he?
Yeah, he is a block of wood.
It's true, man.
Floyd Mayweather to play him, man. Mike Tyson would love that.
Mike Tyson, yeah, maybe. But, you know,
I think, see, with 50, he's just got one role he can play, innit? The big ass black dude. That's it. He's got no other role. You can't, you know, the tough guy, the drug dealer or something. You know, you can't play any other role really. So
bank robbery.
With Ali, you have to have a bit of wit to play a role like that. Or mind you could play the Tyson role because Tyson's not exactly the smartest around, is he? So he'd probably get away with that one.
Yeah, man. I mean, the thing about going back to the thing about what's his name, Will Smith. He's a limited actor, and somebody once told me a perfect description of his performance in the movie Ali, which was he was playing Will Smith essentially. He wasn't playing Muhammad Ali. He was playing Will Smith, but just the fact that he changed his haircut and gained a little weight, now all of a sudden he's Muhammad. I didn't see that one. I didn't see that one happening at all, man. Didn't work for me.
No,
but it's a good movie though. It's a good movie. Oh, the cops are coming for Recognize again.
You know, it never fails, right?
No. fucking sirens all over New York, man. Oh, speaking of...
You guys would think, if you guys didn't know any better, you guys think I live in a fucking war zone or something.
Yeah, it sounds like you're in Saigon or something. By the way, speaking of New York, where's oh yeah, here it is. Jacobs and Charlo are still going at it. And according to Boxing Scene, Charlo said that he was the king of Brooklyn. And so Jacobs got a little offended and he took Charlo to task and he said, listen, if you want to be the king of Brooklyn, you know what you have to do. You got to get past me. Guys, I know we've talked about this fight before, but is this an indication that the fight is being worked on behind the scenes? Because we all know that boxing negotiations take place way before the actual fight is made. So do you think that behind the scenes this is something that they're actually considering?
Yeah, I think they're considering it for sure. Why not?
Exactly, why not? It's two strong guys, young guys. At least Jacobs, he's hitting his peak, or he hit his peak. They both hit hard, they both have hand speed, explosive guys. Why not make? And they dislike each other. That would make for a tremendous promotion right there. So put it on HBO, man. Put it on HBO.
Put it in the Barclay. Put it on HBO. Shit. I mean, can you imagine if, like, even though I'm going to go with Jacobs slightly, give him the slight edge, and I'm pulling for him too. I'm pulling for him. Like, I don't have a horse in the race, but you know, if I wanted anybody to win, it would be Jacobs. But if Charlo beats him in his hometown, does it on HBO, that'll do a lot for him.
Now,
yeah, I think I could do $1 million easy, that fight.
Oh yeah,
over $1 million. I reckon.
I think so, man. Because I mean, if you make, let's say it makes $1 million on cable, but it also does, I think, good attendance numbers. Because I think Charlo's fought in the Barclays before, right? He's fought at the Barclays. He must have.
Yeah. That's where when it was in the Barclays. Yeah, that's where he met Jacobs, wasn't it? Was that the Barclays where he had a little square up with Jacobs?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think he had a fight, Stuart. I think he was just there. I forgot what fight it was, and they that's when they bumped heads, and they had that argument on TV or on camera. And he did fight his last fight against Centeno in Brooklyn.
Okay. Yeah. So see, people in New York, especially educated boxing fans, know who he is. They're familiar with him. Then you put them up against a local guy. I mean, that would do very good attendance numbers right there, man.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, if Charlo wants to start being a serious threat, he needs to start looking at the top guys, right? And Golovkin is just too good for him at the moment, and it's just a fight he doesn't need to be taking. Billy Joe Saunders, well, no one really knows he's got a fight coming up with Martin Murray, and no one knows what's happening with him afterwards. That could be hard. that Eddie Hearn says that's going to be a difficult fight to make. I don't know why he says that, but he said it's going to be a really hard fight to make. So I'm sort of calling that fight off, sort of thing. And the only other guy out there really is Danny Jacobs. So for me, it's the best fight out there for Charlo. And if he wins, then he's a serious guy in that division, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So see, it makes sense. Everything you just said, I missed saying that, but it's true. I mean, it makes logical sense on all sides. So why not make it? But the problem is, will Al Heyman let Charlo go? People are jumping off that BBC.
I got a feeling Charlo might be with Eddie Hearn by the end of the week.
Yeah, there's a good chance of that happening. I mean, if these guys were smart, they'll do it.
Well, that's the thing. Can anybody?
He's just a better promoter.
So you got to remember, it makes it as a manager, it makes sense for Al Heyman to get his fighters with promoters that can bring the most money.
Right.
Correct.
And you know, and Eddie Hearn is the best out there at making big events and making money. All right, his Selecki event weren't great. It was his first event, and it was an opponent no one really knew. But Charlo Jacobs is going to be a different kettle of fish altogether. So with Eddie Hearn behind that, and other fighters, if he signs other fighters, you know, it makes sense for Al Heyman to get him in with Eddie Hearn and get these big purses because he gets a percentage of the purse as a manager.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these guys, this is my theory, a lot of these guys that are PBC fighters, the reason why I think what's stopping them from signing with Eddie Hearn, besides, you know, there's probably some politics involved, obviously, but if you look at the way Eddie Hearn handles his fighters, right? Remember, he was going to put Golovkin in there with Eubanks, right? Wasn't Eubanks with him at one point? He got that, he was going to get that fight signed. And when he couldn't find his pen or whatever the hell was his excuse, Kell Brook stepped in. So he's willing to put his fighters for big money against dangerous fights.
Well, Eddie Hearn's already come out and said when Eubank was with him, Eubank said, "I want the Golovkin fight. Get me the Golovkin fight." Eddie Hearn said, "I delivered him the Golovkin fight on pay-per-view in the UK, and he lost his pen."
Yeah, and he said it to his face. That's the thing about Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn said it to Eubanks and his father's face, right there.
Yeah,
so
and let's be real. He left Eddie Hearn. He left Eddie Hearn after that because he left Eddie Hearn. What? He's having a line in. He's having a line in the background.
Not me, Stu. Not me.
Is that you, Ahmed?
No, I don't know. I think it was. I don't know. I think it was Pavel. I think. Anyway, just keep going. Keep going, man.
No, so you can't blame. Like I said, you can't blame Hearn for that. Eubank was the one that wanted the fight. Like I said, it was suicide putting Brook in there. But Brook's, for me, I don't think Brook is all about legacy in boxing. There's something about Brook that lacks a bit of hunger. I think he's got all the talent in the world and he's a world-class fighter, but he just lacks something deep within. I think he wants money. It's about money for him. And I know it's about money for most of them, but he should have looked at the big picture. And then when he took that Golovkin fight, all right, he got $5 million for it. His best paid check ever. But he took a beating, and it took him a while to get back to his best, sort of thing. Even if he is back to his best, I don't know.
That's a lot of cheese to turn down, Stuart. $5 million.
Yeah, it is a lot of cheese. But he's the one because what happened was Eddie Hearn rang up Kell Brook because obviously they're trying to negotiate fights for him, and Eddie Hearn said to him, "Oh, fucking Eubanks lost his pen and pulled out the Golovkin fight," and Kell Brooks turned around and said, "Oh, well, I'll fight him." Straight away, so without even knowing the figures. So Kell Brooks took the fight before the figures were even given to him, sort of things. So it was a mistake on his behalf for me. But obviously his bank account is not saying that. But you know.
Well, speaking of Eddie Hearn, wasn't he supposed to make a big announcement this week, or did he say the upcoming week?
He said it's this week sometime, but I don't know when.
Now, does anybody know, like, do you know what can you speculate? Have you heard anything about what it's going to be?
Yeah, it's about signing American fighters. He's got a press conference with he's signing a few American names, and he's going to release them to the press at the press conference, sort of thing.
I tell you something, man. This guy is really playing it outside the box, man. Every other promoter would be content with just staying in England. Forget about expanding outside of it. There's too much competition. It's already entrenched. You can't beat it. This guy's going after it, man. And he's also very accessible. You know, he's giving interviews to everybody. You can catch him walking down and then just put a camera in front of him and talk to him. That's the way it's supposed to be. I mean, I know Bob Arum, he'll give interviews and at press junkets and all that, but I don't know. I just get the impression that Eddie Hearn is trying to push this more. You know, he's trying to edge outside of the paradigm.
I think one thing with Eddie Hearn, it's like a lot of rich people. A lot of rich people love money, and they don't know when to stop. I know 8-year-old men that are multi-millionaires that are getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning, going to some fucking rundown factory to make sure it's being run properly, when they should be at home enjoying their life, their millions with their wives. Some people just love money, and they just... Eddie Hearn will go to any extremes to make more money. It's like some people are just not made to have money. There's some people maybe in this chat that if we had millions of pounds, we'd end up probably killing ourselves or ended up like most athletes do, on the fucking bottom of the pile. But certain people like Eddie Hearn just love money and know how to make it. So no matter how much they've got, they want more. And this guy's just constantly thinking of more ways to make more money. And America's the biggest market in the world for boxing, so no better place, really, is there?
I can't blame him.
Yeah, but now
I can't blame him.
Absolutely, you can't. Well, I mean, if you look at greed as one of those gluttony, you know, one of the 7 deadly sins. He's a businessman. That's what businessmen do at the end of the day. They just want to expand, and he's trying something that Malone, or what's his name? Dave Malone? The British...
Kelly Maloney.
No, come on. Address him by his real name.
Frank Maloney.
Frank Malone. There you go. Frank Malone. Frank Malone. Listen, I mean, he wants to wear a wig and everything, fine, but I'm not going to change.
You need to tell him what he can be and what he can't.
You're right, Stu. You've set me straight. No pun intended. You're right. All right. So Malone and what's the other? Warren, Frank Warren. Yeah. You never thought about them expanding. I mean, they made deals with Showtime where they would televise Calzaghe in the United States or who else? You know, Junior Witter and all that, Ricky Hatton. But they never really said, "Hey, listen, let's sign up some of these American names to match them up against Ron."
Warren's burnt a lot of bridges in America, mate. Warren's burnt a lot of bridges. They're not queuing up to do business with Frank Warren. Let's be real.
Can you be more specific about that? Like, what? I'm curious. What did he do? Like, what?
This guy was a crook back in the day. You know, he was like a fucking. This guy sued Don King and won. You know, you know, he's. I don't know the ins and outs. All I know is that he's ruffled a few feathers. He's not the greatest guy to do business with. I mean, a lot of fighters struggle to get paid, even weeks, months after the fucking fight sometimes. Do you know what I mean? The guy's never been a great guy to do business with. Maybe he's getting a bit better now with his old age. He's probably chilled out a little bit. But, you know, I just don't see Frank Warren as the sort of guy that's young enough, got the fresh enough ideas to go to America, make a change like Eddie Hearn has. I just think he's stuck in his old ways, and they've already got Bob Arum, and Frank Warren's not Bob Arum, is he?
I remember reading in magazines that they used to say that he wasn't very professional when it came, like he would announce fights before they were actually signed. And I think one day when Costa Zoo said, "Oh, by the way, I'm going to be fighting Ricky Hatton," I think that was the fight, and then Frank Warren got all upset because well, you can't announce a fight before it's signed, and people were like, "Well, you do it all the time, motherfucker." I mean, that's one of the things that I've heard about him.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. I mean, there's a reason why someone shot him in the fucking head.
What, really? Somebody shot him in the head?
Have you seen the dint in his head? He got shot in the fucking head.
Yeah, man, he's got like a fucking. Yeah, he's got a massive dent in his forehead.
By an ex-fighter. So what does that tell you about his business deals?
All right, hold on. Somebody's playing around in their cupboard. I can hear a bunch of teacups clinging. Please, again, I'll just remind you, if you're not going to talk, mute your mic, please, because...
That's my bad.
Don't worry about it, recognize. Don't worry. Just please mute your mic, because I hear...
It's always recognized, man.
It's always recognized. Or it's boxing style, eating cereal.
He's unmuted it again by mistake, so he's going to get on his weight bench.
I was benching 500 pounds. Sorry.
Yeah, top man. Get ready for Mr. Thompson, are we? Old man Thompson.
Who the fuck is Thompson anyway, man?
Well, by the way, X told me that Recognize is doing HGH. He says he's a fucking roid head. So, and by the way, you guys are saying that somebody shot Frank Malone. We actually have a picture. Frank Warren. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Frank Malone is getting shot up. He's getting shot somewhere else. But anyway, we have actually a picture. We have a picture of the suspect.
Wow,
one of the suspects that shot.
Got shot in the head? For real?
Apparently, man.
Story.
Well, let's all right. Who wants to tell us a story? Cameron or Stu? Because we don't.
Cameron. I didn't. Well,
who shot him in the head anyway, man?
Frank Warren won't say. He said he knows who it is. He said it's one of his ex-fighters, but he won't say. He's old school. He's London underground, mate.
No grass.
He ain't no fucking grass, mate. You know what I mean? He's old school, mate.
No,
didn't Frank Warren?
I'll handle this myself.
Didn't Frank Warren say that he done something about it though? Didn't he? Like,
he said he's seen the guy since. He said he's seen the guy since and spoke to him, man. He said he's seen him. He said him many years ago. He goes,
probably fucking Terry Flanagan.
How do you approach a guy who shot you in the head? Do you go, hey,
it's probably fucking Ricky Hatton after a few after a bender, innit, on the coke.
And a fucking kebab.
Actually,
kebab
we have a picture of the guy who shot him, a suspect. I'm gonna put it up on the screen right there. I think that's the guy. I'm not sure. So if you guys, what's that?
Oh my god, man, Don Logan, what the fuck?
At least Cameron knows who it is.
Logan.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure whoever shot him looked like Don Logan. Fucking psycho. But
the only fighter that I know looks like Don Logan is Bradley Skeet.
Let me look him up.
Top of that picture.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that one up. I want to see if they do look like.
That's the only one off the top of my head I can kind of relate to from Frank Warren's stable off the top of my head.
Ah, this guy looks like he's from the Middle East, man. Bradley Skeet? Come on. He looks like he's from the Middle East. He looks like Jesus Christ. The real Jesus. Anyway, I'll put him up on the screen. You guys tell me. I don't think he don't. I mean, yeah, he's bald and but he doesn't even have a goatee. Anyway,
he got knocked out the other day, man. Sorry.
All right. So listen. So you're saying he got shot and that he knows Frank Warren got shot in the head and he knows who it is. When was this? When did this happen? How long ago was it?
In the 90s, I think.
In the 90s.
Yeah.
Wild era, the 90s. I don't think there's been a better era than the 90s. I know maybe I'm getting old, whatever, but I think the 90s was the pinnacle of human civilization.
The 90s was the best decade ever to live in. I mean, it was just fantastic, mate. The rave, it weren't a violent decade. It was the rave era with the pills and the fucking ecstasy speed of everything else, the raving days. No one was fucking stabbing each other up on the streets, and obviously you got your violence. So you get violence through all eras, but the 90s was just a special era for music, for everything. And I'm glad I lived through it. My best years were in the 90s, mate.
Totally. I was born in the 90s, man. So I mean, late 90s. So I thought knows what I was like, man.
Now, I wake up sometimes and I get upset that it's not the 90s.
That sucks, man. That sucks. But listen,
I tell you what, I even like watching 90s films. They just bring you back to the good old days.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to 90s music, man, but I wasn't brought up in that. So.
My daughter loves the 90s. She wears all that retro clothes, all the Fila and the Sergio Tacchini and all that. Yeah. All the retro. Yeah, she wears all that, mate. She's well into that era. She listens to all the rave music, all the stuff I used to listen to when I was a kid, sort of thing.
Yeah, remember the 90s? It was when you could make fun of people based on their race and nobody would go after you too much. You know what I mean? Those were the days, man.
All the time. I used to walk into a store. People would call me, what's up, Stick? I'll be like, hey, what's up, Cracker? Shake hands, and that's it.
I mean, that's the way it's supposed to be, man.
Someone in the chat, BDA, just said that Terry Marsh could be the guy that shot him. So that name rings a bell.
I don't know who that is.
Terry Marsh is cleared, apparently, according to Nordic Warrior.
All I know is that I look at Frank Warren in a different way now, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, man, pure gangster, man.
I mean, like, he got shot in the head. He's like, don't worry about it. I know who did it. I'll take it.
He's like 50 Cent. Isn't it? He's like 50 Cent. You just can't kill the guy no matter how many times you shoot him.
Well, recognize. Didn't you get shot at, and that maybe that's why you're sympathetic? Like he's your compadre or something?
Yeah, I got shot 3 times, so I know.
Maybe it's the same guy who shot Frank Warren.
Yeah.
Well, maybe, hey, the same guy that shot Warren was the same guy that chopped up Sean Cubbins and put him in the freezer.
Oh shit! That story scared the fuck out of me, man. Oof, imagine that.
If that's true, I mean, fucking Frank Warren's not afraid. He's like, don't worry, I'll handle it.
Yeah, and here's the worst thing about it: they took his wheelchair and scrapped it. Scrapped it for money, innit? Took it to the scrapyard and weighed it in.
Oh, that's a shame. I'm reading this.
I'm joking.
Oh, okay. I thought you were being serious because I don't know about this shit. I don't know about this shit, man. Oh my god.
That's a shame.
Yeah. well, what am I supposed to say?
They didn't weigh in his fucking wheelchair, really. I was just
they weighed it in.
Oh, well, what am I supposed to say? You know, that's you guys got me. You guys got me.
Fuck's sake, man. It's too early in the podcast to be laughing this much, man.
Yeah, I don't want to get too. Well, let's stick it to boxing. But as we're sticking to boxing, I'm looking at Wikipedia, and it says on the 30th of November, 1989, Warren was to attend one of his boxing promotions at the Broadway Theatre in Barking, which featured Colin McMillan. As he arrived at the venue, he was approached by a masked gunman who appeared from the crowd and shot him twice in the chest with .22 caliber bullets from a Luger pistol. A Luger, might have been one of the Nazis, the British enemy, the long-time British enemy that did it. I don't know. And then it says the gunman. Was that?
Carry on, bro.
Just real quick, the gunman fled and Warren was taken to a hospital. Warren lost half a lung and was in great pain after shooting. Was he? Do you guys think he was in as much pain as you guys are when you watch his undercards, or less? You tell me.
What about a headshot? What about a headshot?
It doesn't say. It says twice in the chest.
Wow.
He
got hit once in the head and twice in the chest?
It doesn't say anything.
He got shot on 2 different occasions or something?
No, it just says he got chest. I'm just looking the shooting of Frank Warren on Wikipedia, and the only thing it says is that he was shot twice in the chest with .22 caliber bullets from a Luger pistol. There's nothing mentioned about a headshot.
Yeah, well, that's not the story. That's not the story. Ask Nordic Warrior in the chat seems to know a bit more about it than I do. Ask him, because I'm sure that story doesn't ring a bell to me. I thought it was the head. That's why he's got a fucking. If you look at his head, he's got a dent in it.
Yeah, man, it's like a fucking.
Shout out to Nordic Warrior.
Yeah, that's right. Shout out to Nordic Warrior.
Every time I watch an interview of Frank Warren, I fucking notice that dent, man. So
maybe he got it from eating pussy. I don't know. But I mean, the thing is this: if he was, this sounds to me like something that was added to the legend. You know, like first he got shot once, then he got shot two times, then he was in the head, then he got his penis chopped off, then he walked bleeding from one corner to the hospital. I mean, it just sounds like legend that he was shot in the head.
I'm telling you, Frank Warren, I look at him different now.
Hey, have any of you guys seen the movie Snatch?
Oh yeah.
Snatch.
Yeah, you know that Russian guy Boris. So they just can't kill him. That's Frank Warren, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what
they run the guy over. They run the guy over. They shoot him. They fucking do everything. They just can't kill him. He keeps waking up and coming back.
The only way to kill Frank Warren is if you do a Sean Cummins on him.
Nah, but it'd still end up at a fucking press conference. Just his arms sitting there.
Oh man, jeez.
His arm holding a press pass.
Oh, Stu, man, you're insane. You're absolutely insane. Who said in the chat room? Somebody in the chat room mentioned Boris the Blade. I mean, Boris the Bullet Dodger. Fuck, who was it? Anyway, I forgot the name on the chat room, but somebody else made that comparison. But yeah, man, I mean, hey, Frank Warren, what a fucking nut job. Getting shot in the lung, and he's still I bet he wasn't thinking.
I just like the fact that he said, don't worry about it. I'll take care of myself.
I'm pretty sure after he got shot and people were tending to him. I'm pretty sure after he got shot and people were like, one of his close associates or something was.
I'm laughing at Cameron. Oh dear, man.
Fucking cow in the chat says, where's the? It says it ended up in a presser in a chest freezer.
Oh man, he shows up half a cyborg or something. Just the head, he just the head in a fish tank. They're like, hello everybody.
His arm, his arm turns up a press pass, but.
Oh yeah, it was abstract boxing stuff. He's the one that said bullet tooth Tony.
Oh man, my chest in agony from laughing, man. Fucking hell.
It's almost as if you got shot in the chest, right? In the chest. But
yeah, man. Oh dear.
Now here's the thing. You guys remember, or maybe Cameron, I don't know if you remember, but in the 90s, that was when WWF was big, and Owen Hart, Bret Hart's brother, died in a stunt. He was coming into the ring in a zip line, and he fell, and they still went on with the show. So do you think that with Frank Warren, he's so interested in making money that he's telling people, okay, listen, just keep the show going. I'll be right back. Just gonna go to the hospital.
That's Frank Warren, boy.
Fuck's sake.
Don't worry, guys. Don't worry,
mate, there could be a terrorist attack, and Frank would still go along with the show after the bodies have been cleared. And then after the bodies have been cleared, Frank's all right. Bring the boys out, innit?
Fucking during the entrances, there's a fucking bomb going off. And Frank says, "Carry on, man. Get him out."
And there's Michael Buffer going, "Let's get ready to rumble," and 30 seconds afterwards. I think.
No, fucking Frank Warren's the type of guy, mate. His undercards are so bad that he genuinely will probably, pay off to get shot just to get people.
That's what. Hey, yeah, that's why there's never a terrorist attack at a Frank Warren card, because the terrorists usually fall asleep before the fucking time to detonate it.
Well, they go for busy places, don't they? So that's probably why they don't.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, Wilder ain't got to worry then, is he?
That's exactly that. Oh my God, you guys are on fire today, man.
No, we're just having a laugh because Frank Warren is, he, like I said, you got to laugh about Frank Warren because the guy is a crook, an old school crook, man.
Oh.
Like I said, he's.
Well, it's interesting that when something happens, like, because we're kidding around about usually when there's some sort of like a mass shooting or something or a bombing, people are traumatized. That's why I was surprised when I saw that there was that shooting at YouTube headquarters recently. I don't know if it's true or not. I only saw a photograph, so I don't know if it's a photograph from before or after. But I think they actually told people to get back into work.
Fucking Fan Money in the chat, because people call Frank Warren fish eyes. Fan Money goes, that fish tank would be that fish tank would be spitting for Warren.
Come on, let's leave old Frankie alone. He never hurt anybody.
No, man. I mean, you definitely get, man. I mean, you get shot for no reason.
And by the way, somebody who's saying that realistic boxing in the chat room says Eddie Hearn, Eddie Event won't ever have a threat. He's a Freemason. And then FNC bot says, what evidence have you seen to say that Eddie Hearn is a Freemason? Has anybody heard that?
Oh, the hand signs. I've seen them.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me put that up. Let me look that up on Google.
Eddie Hearn's a pervert, man.
Now, why would you say that?
Well, that too, of course. I mean, he's got a lot of money.
He's a pervert, man. You see him eyeing up the ring girls when he's over in America?
Okay, you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't classify him as a pervert unless there's something specific he's doing that's a bit, deviant.
Oh,
yeah, because
blowing Anthony Joshua. I mean, that's perverted, isn't it?
Oh.
Okay, now he's doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at Eddie Hearn. I wrote Eddie Hearn Freemason hand signs. I don't see anything. Fuck.
Well, nobody's going to put a
You're not
YouTube video.
supposed to.
No one's going to put a YouTube video up saying Eddie Hearn Freemason hand signs, are they?
I'm sorry. The quag in the chat room. The quag says Warren is a younger version of the Creep Keeper. Oh, I'm gonna put the image of the Creep Keeper up because I don't know if people get it. Tales from the Crypt.
Hell, man.
Hold on a second, I'm putting the picture up. But yeah, I mean, look, everybody's first of all, if you're gonna criticize somebody for being a pervert, I think everybody in this fucking hangout and in the chat room, I'd say as well, is a fucking pervert. They could be categorized as pervert. So I think we should be careful who we call a pervert. You know what I mean?
Especially me, I reckon, as well. Especially me. So.
I think you're playing up that ass-eating angle a little bit too much nowadays. I think it's for self-promotion.
No, man, I actually do it, but I am using self-promotion at the same time.
All right, I don't want to get into that. By the way, do you guys see the picture I put there up there? The Creep Keeper. I don't think he really looks like Frank Warren. I think the Creep Keeper actually looks better. But anyway, the point is this.
The creep keeper hasn't got a dent in his head, so yeah,
that's a good fucking point. That's a good point. Nicola Ferrari says Freemasons alone are not a problem. It's the higher ranks that got infiltrated by Rome and the Jesuits. Nicola, I've told you 1,000 times, man. You want to bring that stuff up, you gotta do it on Second Renaissance, man. It's been too long. You should come on the show. You should come. Look at Pavel. He came onto the hangout and he was dropping knowledge about kinetic energy and sports science and all that. So I think you would make a great addition to the BDA family in the hangouts. Because everybody in the chat room is part of the BDA family, but the hangouts, that's where we're really getting to that type of Thanksgiving conversation. You know, where like when the uncle comes out and he says, guess what, everybody, I'm a drag queen and all that. That's where the magic happens. So come on in. Don't be afraid. And don't forget to like and subscribe, by the way, to BDA Boxing and subscribe to BDA Live. We're going to do a podcast there again. Yeah.
There's someone in the chat saying this. Someone in the chat saying this show is rubbish, man. I don't know who it is.
I think it might be Frank Warren after all the shitting we've done on him.
Yeah, it's Frank Warren.
Yeah, Nicola.
Maybe it's that quantum guy, man. He's Frank
can
Warren.
Can I block fucking Graphic now? Now this guy's in Spanish saying the blacks and the brown have to stay together.
Block him.
And he's like, and you love white people. What is
divide and conquer? Divide and conquer.
I think the panel is full of it's multicultural and multiracial, whatever you want to call it.
Graphic.
Oh yeah.
He's from Trinidad. He sounds like he's
he sounds like I don't know.
He doesn't sound like he's from Trinidad. I'm sorry, he just don't.
Yeah.
He could be. I'm not saying.
Well, he's I don't know.
Don't worry, guys. His info is already in the agency.
The agency,
yeah.
All right. So listen. Yeah, he's trying to divide and conquer. The blacks and Spanish need to stick together. Get the fuck out of here. We don't need to stick together unless it's really.
I'm not gonna join the fucking LDBC.
But hold on. Yeah, for boxing.
It's not a black, white, purple, blue thing. It's fucking retards like the LDBC spewing racism.
But they make it seem as if
normal boxing fans like.
But Bucho, they make it seem as if it's like, yeah, let's get together and fight the powers that be. For boxing, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, no.
It's not like, outside of boxing.
It's a boxing show, fucker.
Yeah, it's a fucking boxing show.
Movement.
I'm telling you something.
Like even if this fantasy was true, like I'm gonna do this for boxing. Get out of here.
Exactly.
I'm blocking this guy, man. It's over.
I think Pavel hit it right on the head when in his report he included illusions of grandeur. That's what these people have. They think they're saving the world. Guys, let me remind you, it's boxing. There's bigger issues out. There's bigger fish to fry than fucking boxing. Oh, the LDBC. Oh, HBO is biased. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm gonna steal a phrase. I'm gonna steal a phrase from Candace Owens. There's nothing cool about being oppressed or claiming you're oppressed.
Exactly. There you go.
There's nothing cool about that. Women don't like that shit. They don't like oppressed little boys.
Here's what I have to say to all these fake oppressed people.
And I pity you as I would the village idiot.
I pity you as I would the village idiot. That's right. All right. No need for that type of shit.
But this one had a kind of splendor to it, don't you think?
That's right. This show is hitting its splendor. All right. What else? What
BDA, did I see that right? That I'm sorry about that. Golovkin and Vanez did what? 1.3?
That's right.
That's
1.3 million.
Impressive, right? Like nobody wanted to see this fight, but he still did over 1 million.
Exactly. So imagine if they put him in there against somebody that would make for a better fight. Let's say, I don't know, Charlo or maybe Dave Jacobs again or Sulecki. I mean, those would be nice fights.
I don't know if you know this BDA, but maybe I'm right or wrong about this, or somebody like Precise probably knows it a little bit better than me. I think like guys like Golovkin and Lomachenko, they got like TV deals back where they're from, like in Eastern Europe. So these guys are like making a lot of money, if that's true. If they got TV deals back there, and then what they're getting paid over here, you know, to fight.
That's an interesting. I don't know.
I think Precise was talking something about that. I'm not 100% sure. I never researched it myself, but I thought I heard him talk about that before.
Yeah, didn't he mention that Golovkin has more international TV deals than Anthony Joshua?
Right. Yeah. He was talking. It was him and somebody else. It might have been Maxwell Bear, who calls himself Russian Colluder now, and Thunderdome. It was them. It was within that group, and they were talking about these TV deals that these guys have back home.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna Google it while you guys talk, and I'll see if I can come up with something. But yeah, you know, and it's interesting because that's why I'm curious to see what type. Because apparently Pacquiao versus Hearn did 4 million or something like that when he fought on ESPN. So I'm curious to see what Lomachenko can do. I don't think he's gonna do 4 million, but if they put him in there on ESPN and you know it's not premium cable, I'd be very interested to see what type of numbers he can pull up.
Right. Yeah.
Because that's the thing.
I mean, it's not going to be, obviously, it's probably not going to be $1 million unless with the right opponent, like Canelo, obviously. But it goes to show you that, you know, by those numbers, judging by those numbers, 1.3, he's, you know, he's a star in the U.S. I mean, that's obvious. He is a star out here when it comes to boxing.
It's like, it's the thing is, you got to keep in mind also, it's HBO, man. Not everybody has HBO. I mean, that's premium cable. And it's still 1 point. So
right.
That 1.3, that's the hardcore people watching Golovkin. So if you put him in on ESPN and people go like, who? Because could you imagine if Golovkin, I mean, they did a very good job of promoting him, even though he was only fighting on HBO, which has a small reach. But could you imagine what they could have done on ESPN, especially if ESPN put their backing?
Oh, forget it.
Oof.
Forget it. Yeah, he would have did at least double that, right? I mean, you got to say double that.
Yeah, you got to take into account a lot of boxing fans weren't really bothered about missing their Saturday nights to watch Vardas Martirosyan. You've also got to take that into account. If that was a real solid opponent in there,
yeah, that
was. It would have been a different story. Sorry, there's noise in the background that put me off. Yeah, you've got to take the opponents into account every time, really. So 1.3 million for Vardas Martirosyan, a guy coming up from 154, hasn't fought for a couple of years. That's decent numbers.
Correct. Yep.
By the way, I think somebody's saying in the chat room, fuck, I think Aldi for real said the numbers. Who was it? No, I can't see, but I think it's something like 100 networks or something like that. And by the way, somebody's asking about boxing. Yeah, Nosferatu Sod asks, BDA Boxing, what are your thoughts on Boxing Legends TV getting absolutely back the fuck off? Well, Bucho, are you there? Bucho? All right.
Bucho got himself muted.
Yeah, I think so. But he's asking, Nosferatu is asking me about Boxing Legends. I think what happened with Boxing Legends, if Bucho told me that correctly, is that he was making videos and now he's got copyright strikes against him. But here's the thing that he did. He's using videos, he's posting videos about certain fights that just happened days earlier. That's how they get you on YouTube. You can't post fights that are way too recent, especially with the PBC. I mean, if you try to post certain fights from the PBC that aren't on YouTube, they're going to come after you. So it doesn't surprise me that Boxing Legends is going through that. But like he said, Nosferatu saying, it surprised me how guys like him and Edit King avoided copyright claims for that long. That is impressive. I actually thought that they had something worked out.
I don't know why they don't allow you to, like, if you put the whole fight, okay, maybe there's issues there, but if you just chop it up, I mean, what's the problem with that? You're actually promoting fights in boxing, so I don't know why they do this, man.
Exactly.
I got a question for you, BDA. I don't know if any of you guys know the answer. So when I put my videos up, there's something that I noticed that's strange that happens, right? You look at the views, right? And for like the last day and a half, I have one of my videos has the same amount of views, although I have more likes and more different comments from different people. What does that mean exactly?
Yeah, it's normal.
Your views haven't been processed yet.
That's what. Okay,
yeah,
it's something like that. And sometimes I've had views taken away. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that happens sometimes. It's weird.
What is that?
I don't know.
Usually means like it can vary. Sometimes it means that one certain person or one certain device has viewed the video a load of times, and it doesn't really class as views.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah,
I have a habit of like hitting the video again when somebody leaves a comment. So that's like me watching my own video.
Again,
so
yeah.
Do that too.
As long as you don't see stuff that you didn't upload in your video, you know what I mean? That's when it starts getting freaky.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what's freaky? When you upload a video and the next day it disappears. That's fucking creepy.
Oh, that sick reminiscence we done.
That's right. That's what I'm talking about. But anyway.
Yeah, that's never happened to me, but that is strange. And that's pretty strange. I've heard several uploaders talk about that too.
Well,
but they've always done us a favor. I mean, some of the stuff that was said in that podcast.
Oh yeah. Oh well, now you're teasing people out there. Now they're gonna want to know what we talked about.
Fucking Stu was magical that day. He was breaking Da Vinci codes and everything. I was like,
yeah, man. That's a bad podcast, man.
Yeah, Stu was playing the man of many hats on that day, man. I tell you something. He went all out.
I brought my spiritual side to the show, didn't I?
Oh yeah, you did. I didn't know you had a spiritual side. I thought it was all fry-ups and darts for you. I didn't know you had a spiritual side to you.
Yeah, definitely, man. You've got to have a spiritual side. It's more like knowledge as well. It's more knowledge than me actually taking this shit deep. Do you know what I mean? And getting involved with it. It's just nice to know because obviously I can pass the information on to recognise. And now he knows he's got the spirit of his grandfather watching him bang his missus at night.
God damn, that's not happening anymore.
Oh, I'm only joking, bro.
Yeah, he's banging his girlfriend, and all he sees are the glow of two eyes in the corner of the room watching him there.
He's sitting there going, I bet he's sitting there going, that's my boy.
a little wide, spread those legs a little, make her spread those legs a little wider, son.
Yeah.
There you go.
You gotta pace yourself, son. You gotta pace yourself. Remember what I told you.
What is this conversation?
No, but Stu was dropping knowledge, and we don't have the whole video. Obviously, it disappeared. We didn't record it, but we do have a snippet that we were able to record. And this is Stu dropping knowledge.
I am a writer, a doctor, a nuclear physicist, a theoretical philosopher.
Your fear of capture and imprisonment is an implant from millions of years ago.
Man, that was deep, deep. Stu went deep on that episode.
Good podcast, man.
We should all get high and do our second renaissance.
I said that. I said we should all like get drunk one time and do a podcast sometime or something, man.
I'm with that.
Yeah, why not? You know what we should do? We should take LSD and smoke pot at the same time, and just see what happens.
I'll react to that now, man.
I've got fucking. I've got a load of diazepam, man. Take a few of them, baby. I'll be fucking all over the joint.
Yeah, get graphite pod and low place on as well.
Oh, that would make for a great show, man. Graphic and
we get fucking Hamed and Michael Stott on as well, man. Get everybody on.
All right. Nosferatu Sot says.
Put him on. Even the drugs won't keep me away.
Nosferatu Sot says, "Will boxing in America die if HBO cut their boxing division?" You know what? That's an interesting question. What do you guys think?
Is what? What's the question?
He says Nosferatu asks, "Will boxing in America die if HBO cuts their boxing division?"
No.
HBO is getting less and less relevant as the time goes on, so I doubt it.
Yeah, it won't, mate. It won't change much, man. ESPN are in the game now as well, so it's not like it's just PBC and Showtime. Yeah, I mean, you got ESPN there. You know, a lot. You know, Eddie Hearn's coming into the UK. In the US. Do you know what, man? It wouldn't surprise me if HBO aren't going out of the sport. If, maybe Eddie Hearn's got a deal with HBO. I don't know, but Hearn's coming over to the US. He'll probably sign quite a big few fighters and stuff. So, nah, man, it wouldn't be a problem for me.
Yeah, exactly. ESPN is going to pick up the reins if that ever happened, because all these boxers...
The thing is, though, bro, I was watching a DVD the other day about the business of boxing, and Hasim Rahman was close to signing $100 deal with $100 million deal with HBO. Obviously, for a few fights. Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson was names involved. But these are the figures being thrown around from HBO to Hasim Rahman in the 90s. Now look at the figures we're talking. I mean, you've got the heavyweight champion of the world from America fighting for $2 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The biggest
And it's
name as
sad
well.
because you know Deontay Wilder has that fucking personality to be a star in boxing, especially here in America.
I mean, they were saying our box. There's a lot of noise in the background. They were saying that they were saying about how Showtime and HBO would ring a fighter up, could put in offers, and it'd be like an auction. And they said the money that was generating from boxing, that they could afford to do that. But obviously, the money's not there anymore because these networks are not putting the money into boxing. They're not fucking supporting boxing.
Well, ESPN is. It seems like they're.
Yeah, ESPN. Yeah, they are. They are. But ESPN have never been known. I mean, when you look at the history of boxing, it's always Showtime and HBO where the big fights were on. These companies, you'd think they've made a lot of money from boxing. You'd think they'd have started. I think there's a lot of noise. Can someone mute that noise?
Who is it?
Recognise, man. He's outside.
No, it can't be me. I'll mute it anyway.
It's Cameron. It was you, Cameron.
No, it's not me, man. No, I'm muted. Ready?
You just muted yourself now.
Yeah.
And it's still there even when I'm muted.
I mean, I think
No,
Showtime.
it's not. No, it's not. It's not there anymore.
Yeah. I think
What
Showtime.
noise, man? What noise, man?
It's like a background noise. I don't know, like a TV or something.
You've got the TV.
Oh, right, yeah, man. That's me, man. I'll turn it down.
All right.
Yeah. I think Showtime lost a lot of money with the Mayweather deal. I don't think they did too well with that. I mean, they're paying him $50 million to fight fucking Berto. So
yeah,
maybe they've started tightening the strings with boxing. There's no really big names out that's gonna get these networks auctioning for them, sort of thing, and putting in bids. There's just no superstars out there that are American right now. So
they are, but I don't think they're well promoted. And the PBC has some fighters that could become stars, but the PBC they're not in the creating superstars business. They're the Ponzi scheme. Al Heyman, I don't know what he wants to do, man. He's not there for boxing. Let's be honest. Deontay Wilder would have been. He's not there to create superstars. Let's be honest. He puts his fighters fighting once a year. I mean that he's not committed to boxing. Wilder, I think, who would have become a star if he would have stayed with Golden Boy, man.
Wilder should be a star by now. There's no doubt
yes,
about that.
Absolutely.
No, he's like you said, like he's like one of those stars that doesn't get the right promotion. The dude knocks people out. He does it. He's vulnerable. He's got a brash, very brazen attitude. It's like, why is he not a star? I don't understand it. Why?
Because he's with the PBC, man.
Yeah, like Recognizes said. I mean, the dude has like every quality to be viewed basically by others, and I think the best option, it would be going to Top Rank for him. I mean, in America at least. I mean, Bob Arum knows how to promote a fighter. Let's be honest.
He does.
That criticize Joshua for being with a promoter like Eddie Hearn. These Wilder fanboys.
No, man.
Makes no sense.
Yeah. I'm saying this guy's smart. At least he's smart enough to surround himself with smart people.
Yeah.
What's going on here? What are we talking about? I just got back. Sorry.
Dude, he's worth like I read an article. Maybe Stuart or Cameron know exactly. He's worth 40 million pounds. I mean,
we
55, 60 million.
Yeah. I mean, we can say all the things about Eddie Hearn all we want, but I mean, we just can't deny he did a outstanding job with Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, absolutely. If he's worth 40 million, if I'm reading that, if I was reading that correctly, or from what I remember, if he's worth 40 million pounds, 50 million or more than that, $60 million, and he's done that in 21 fights, I don't think Anthony Joshua is getting robbed any kind of way.
Can I say something here real quick? Nosferatu Saad just brought up a good point. He says, imagine if giants like Amazon and Netflix got into boxing and started and sports broadcasting in general. I'm getting sick of the archaic TV networks with the overpriced cable shit. Streaming is the future. Bucho, do you remember we talked about that? I think not that long ago. We were talking about what if these channels get into it, kind of like they do with this. What? Cameron, what?
I was just going to say, there was a rumor that the rumor was going around that Eddie Hearn was actually signing one of his deals he's coming up with in the US was actually with Amazon and Netflix, but he actually denied that. Whether or not it's true or not, whether or not he's just saying no, but there is rumors going around that Hearn has signed a network deal with either one of them too. So keep an eye out.
Wow,
well,
that's interesting.
That's a good question. Where does Eddie Hearn plan to showcase his fighters? In which network?
Well, it's getting announced. He's announcing a big network deal in the US apparently.
I hope it's on HBO, man. Fuck.
Maybe
I don't think it will. I think
it's HBO. I think it's HBO. For some reason. I'm gonna go out and make a guess and say.
Well, look, listen. I don't know anything about TV production, but I imagine that just because you have a network who's willing to put in the money doesn't mean that you could have a successful boxing program, right? Like, meanwhile, HBO right now I am assuming that they have veterans who know how to handle boxing, right? Or am I wrong? Like, how easy?
I'm sorry, BDA, but I have to bring boxing style comments. He says Hearn is a slave trader. He brought AJ from Africa on a cruise ship.
on a carnival trip. Yeah, on one of those cruise ships.
Oh man,
what's with the fucking
X?
You know what? There's one thing that I like about X is how he calls these guys out. That they just keep bringing slavery up. Slavery. Ugh.
X is like done a complete U-turn, man. X is like calling me his brother and everything now, man.
You know what? I don't know that much about him.
X and Cameron have a alliance together. I don't know what's going on there. I've even heard Cameron say, "I'm not down with Recognize anymore."
Listen, bro. I said it because I need X on my side, man. I want to be good with everybody.
Cameron, before you know it, people are going to start accusing you of being a slave master. Let's just put it that way. Listen,
I'm on the Wilder side, the A side.
That's right. So, but getting back to this whole Netflix thing, I mean, let's say that, because my question essentially was, how easy is it for a network to fuck boxing up? Just because you have money doesn't mean you know how to promote the product, right? So, do you think maybe Eddie Hearn would go with the safe choice and say, listen, HBO, they already know what they're doing, they got experience, let's go with them?
They do have experience, and that's why I'm saying that it wouldn't surprise me at all. In fact, I would say that's probably his announcement. More likely would be that he's, signing a deal with HBO in some kind of way.
I'm going with that as well. I agree with you, bro.
Yeah, because they have the history on their side, and again, a lot of uploaders get on, on what side they're on, HBO and Showtime. I could care less. Whoever's showing the best fights that's where I'm tuning in.
And HBO is still the big boys of boxing. They are.
I agree. They have the history on this side. I mean, wasn't HBO the first paid network that that started showing boxing fights? So they got a history on this side.
But I mean, that's what was great about the Tyson Lewis fight. They had two announcers in, didn't they? Buffer and Lennon from Showtime and HBO. Both did their own fighters. The whole thing was just a great event. Do you know what I mean?
But they started a trend. I mean, it's only been done twice.
Let me ask this.
I can see it happening again.
Let me ask you this. I mean, do you really think that HBO is still on top of boxing in terms of quality? Didn't they get beat last year and so far this year by Showtime when it comes to the quality of the fights?
They suck on commentary.
That's true. Yeah, that's absolutely true right there.
The thing is, though, like, it's with HBO, they've took the foot off the pedal. It's like they've stopped caring about boxing, and it's a shame, really. I mean, when you look at the Anthony Joshua Klitschko fight, Showtime showed it live and HBO showed it delayed. So, if you've got both channels, which one are you going to do? Watch it live, or are you going to wait for the delayed version? This is how you lose. Of course you are. And this is the thing with, they're just not showing any ambition at the moment, HBO.
That's true, man. That's true. They didn't even, like Steve Kim always says, they don't even have an app.
They just got to get back in the game. That's it.
They wasted years and years of trying to fucking force Andre Ward down our throats, and it didn't work, and they had no backup plan.
You know, they tried to shove Andre Ward down our throats, and boxing fans gagged, they spit, and they said, "No fucking way, man." Which is what, which is what those Cosby victims should have done instead of falling asleep and letting Bill Cosby with his dirty cock.
I go to HBO Boxing YouTube channel. Every second fucking video I see is with Andre Ward. Like, get the fuck out of here.
And by the way,
Max Kellerman's never seen one of them.
Andre Ward is likable, right? Like, Andre Ward is not a likable person. His style is not likable either. You know,
he's a fucking scum.
Andre Ward's ambition as a boxer long term wasn't there. It's like, why would you invest all your money on that when the guy's long term ambition of, you know, boxing is not there? He didn't have that Mayweather quality. You know, Mayweather had that, you know, ambition to make super money. You know, so you got to give him that. At least there was something there that you can work with. But Andre Ward, they should have known this guy before he retired this time around. He already had retired. He was out of the game for like 2.5 years. So
that's a good question. I mean, the dude isn't a money maker. He was not the big draw back in the day, even. So what they're doing?
I mean, look at the names.
The next Mayweather. When Mayweather, no, he's not. He's. And again, I don't like Mayweather, but he's nothing compared to Mayweather. You got to be. Oh my God! Like,
let's be real, right? Let's be real. When they've got some decent fight. When you look at some of the fighters they've got, like, you know, Lomachenko, Golovkin, Canelo, Crawford, the talent's there. You know, Chocolatito and all them. The talent's there, but they don't promote these fights. You barely hear anything about them before the fight, especially fight week. There's just nothing there. They don't promote these fights. I mean, most of the time, no one even knows they're fucking on. Do you know what I mean? And that's just poor work from HBO.
Well, look,
they split big time, and I don't think it's. I think because of the experience, I don't think they did it because like they made mistakes. They just lost interest. HBO as a network is losing interest in boxing for whatever reason.
The money's not there, bro. The money's not there. This is the reason. You know, like we was talking about earlier, businessmen want to make money. They don't want to be putting money into something that's bringing nothing in return. So this is how it works. When something stops bringing in money, it's like any sort of brand. If you've got a brand out and it stops bringing in money, you cancel the brand, you stop it. And I think this is what HBO are doing to boxing. I mean, Showtime have got say the names that have like people are saying that could be the next stars. Showtime have probably got them. Do you know what I mean? When you talk about Wilder or Spence and all them, Showtime have got these guys. So HBO need to rely on Eastern Europeans to keep them going, and their heart's not in it.
Their heart isn't on it. I mean, I tell you what though, and I'll ask this to recognize you live in the US. You have about 5,000 cable channels. Most of them don't even work, you said. But anyway, do you watch ESPN a lot? And if so, what type of coverage have they given the Lomachenko fight so far? I mean, do you see commercials or anything like that?
Yeah, I've seen some, not as much as I would like, you know, so that they can promote it better. But there is commercials on the fight. You know, there's even been some commentary, like on Stephen A. Smith and what's the guy, Max Kellerman, talking about the fight. So yeah, there's been some promoting. But again, ESPN's that's not its bread and butter, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Football is, baseball is their thing. But can you imagine, like, if HBO was in the game and promoting that fight, you know, and through all of social media, and they can do. I think if they were in the game, they could have done a better job, because HBO's #1 sport that they show on their network was boxing at one point. You know, it was boxing. That was their #1 sport.
Yeah.
ESPN, you're asking them to throw boxing in the mix, and let's be honest, there's not a lot of boxing fans in America. The percentage is not like in the UK. for instance, okay? You guys were telling me that's the second biggest sport. Boxing is not the second biggest sport. Not even close.
That's true. Yeah, exactly. What would you say the hierarchy of sports is in the United States? Obviously, NFL right now, first, right? Yeah.
Right now, football.
Right.
Baseball.
Okay.
Basketball. After that, shit. Let me see.
Hockey, I guess.
I don't think so.
Well, it depends on which state, though.
Boxing. I think hockey's bigger than boxing.
Oh yeah, it's more mainstream. Kids watch it. Kids go with their parents to watch it and all that. They don't really do that for boxing, Because you know why? Because there's ring card girls. Ooh, that's gonna set a bad example for the kids. Shut up. Fucking bunch of idiots.
Boxing.
ESPN also put a lot of English Premier League football on. They show loads of live games. They're really invested in soccer, what you guys call soccer. So and they've sort of thing. So boxing's at the bottom of their list, really. So they'll put a fight on here and there, where HBO was the place where all the big fights were, and it's just a shame, really.
Well, I mean, you can't have a sport become a top sport when you have it on HBO and Showtime, which are premium cable channels. But if you have boxing on ESPN, it can become a major sport, and that's what's going to happen, I think.
Sky Sports are premium. Sky Sports is a premium channel.
Premium channel? It's not basic cable?
Sorry, you have to pay for it.
Yeah, but same thing with ESPN, though.
No, I'm on about HBO and Showtime. You have to pay for them, don't you?
Yeah. But it's same thing with Sky Sports? It doesn't come with like a basic cable program?
No, you don't get Sky Sports free, bro. You have to pay for that.
Yeah. A good friend of mine, Stuart, that's he lives out here now, but he's from the UK. He told me the same thing. He's like, no, Sky Sports, that's a premium channel. You got to pay for that.
Well, first of all, in England,
Sports, you have to pay for that as well.
But first of all, in England, you have to pay to have a television, and you have to pay to take a piss. So
no, I have to pay £28 a month for BT Sports. I'll get me internet with it as well, though.
How much do you pay for Sky Sports?
They do it where you have to buy the other packages with it, sort of thing. So I think I pay about. I think it just goes out of my bank. I think it's about £130 a month, which is about $190, $200. I think it is $180, something like that. I don't know.
Yes.
What?
Nosferatu Zod says, "Oi, you got a TV license, mate? Also been that knife." That's the fucking thing about you Brits. You gotta pay to take a piss and to have a television.
Just watching BBC One. You know BBC, that fucking communist left-wing trash.
Here we go.
ITV4.
£20 a month we have to pay for that. It's part of our tax. We've got no choice. It's not like we say, well, we don't want to watch that shit. We can choose not to watch Sky Sports. We have no choice not to pay BBC. We have to pay it. Even if I switch my TV off and say, no, I'm never watching TV again, I still have to pay the BBC £20 a month.
Still, we have CBC over here. It's the same shit. They sold pro-Trudeau, and it's taxpayer money that goes into that channel, man.
But it's half. It's half, right? It's not
half,
fully.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Okay, whatever. Still.
We get license. Hey, and if you don't pay, they fucking come around with bailiffs and start taking your PlayStation.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think?
1984 novel.
Hold on. Go ahead, Recognize. Go ahead. No, I couldn't hear what you just said. You kind of broke off there. Could you repeat that? Recognize.
He's gone. He's
still there.
What's the biggest sport in Canada, BDA?
What's the biggest what?
The biggest sport in Canada.
Oh, it has to be hockey. Hockey.
Oh, speaking of Canada, man, did you know that fucking Jean Pascal's coming out of retirement?
Yes.
I don't care.
Oh man, that sucks for Jean Pascal. Poor Jean Pascal, man. Poor Jean Pascal. That's what you say about his comeback?
Yeah, come on, fuck you, dude.
He's just not the sort of guy that he wants to hear news about anyone. He just doesn't care about these guys. But
All right, so wait, hold on. Let's get. I want to talk about Jean-Pascal, but we'll do it later because recognize you were asking what's the biggest sport in Canada. So yeah, that's hockey, no doubt about it.
Hockey, and then
boxing over there.
No, but that's just the province of Quebec, right, Bucho?
I mean, I know two teams over there. I know the Montreal Canadiens and the Toronto Maple Leafs, and that's it. I don't know any.
You forgot
the rivalry.
You forgot the
Maple
Leafs.
No, boxing comes number 2 actually. In Quebec, well, we have the CFL, which is the Canadian Football League.
Oh, the Calgary Flames. They're Canadian, aren't they?
Yep.
The Calgary Flamers. Is that what you said?
Yeah, and then Calgary Flames. The Flames, is it?
Yeah.
Calgary?
Yep.
The Calgary.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm not really an ice hockey fan, guys.
There's a lot of flamers over there.
That's right. There's a lot of Flomos flying around in Calgary. Let's just put it that way. They're Mayweather fans, which is an overlap.
Is that French? Is that French Canadian as well?
No,
good
but
name
listen.
for a team, Calgary Flomos.
Well, hold on a second. Let me ask. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Number 2 sport in Quebec, right? BDA. Boxing is the number 2 sport here in Quebec.
It is. Yeah, boxing is a number. Boxing is huge here in Quebec, which suits us just fine because we just happen to be boxing fans that live here. But outside of Canada, outside of Quebec, boxing tends to be a bit of a thin sport. Now, I wanted to ask Cameron. Cameron, do you pay for cable or?
Sorry, bro. What did you say?
Do you pay for cable?
You're cutting off, man.
Which?
Can you
okay.
let me know?
Yeah, we can hear you. Do you pay for cable in England, or do you try to get everything off the radio?
No, we'll pay for cable, man. We got everything on our TV, man. We got the Sky and everything.
Because what happens if you get one of those IPTV boxes or one of those Android boxes and you start paying for other services which are technically illegal in terms of that they're stealing cable from or satellite TV? What can you do that in England, or is that a great market thing?
You can do it. Oh, I'm not gonna. Well, I'm gonna stick to my mates up here. One of my mates does it. He has a box where he gets everything on it. You know, pay-per-view, Sky pay-per-view, things like that. You know, he doesn't have to pay a penny for it. He just has his little box. I'm not sure what it is. He has his little box where he literally gets everything. He doesn't pay for any pay-per-view. He gets BT, Sky, everything on it, man. So, but with me, I'm legit. I'm all legit. We have the actual. We pay for the Sky Sports. You know, what I mean, we're legit in this house.
I see. So because I thought that there was some sort of a problem that if you had a TV, you had to pay anyway, like a basic service charge or something to the government. That's what I thought. That's how I thought.
Well, what Stu said, like if you buy a TV, you get BBC. You get 4 channels with the TV anyway, and you have to. You got no choice but to pay for them.
But don't you need an antenna just to watch that? So if you don't have the antenna, you can.
Aerial, yeah. Well, it depends, man.
Well, all of that to say, I know people don't want to talk about cable TV all night, but just to finish off with this, which is that, and I think I've said this before in the podcast, if these cable companies, for example, here in Canada, the cable companies suck. I'm talking absolute fucking suck. They don't have any variety. There's only like 2 companies you can get TV from. That includes 2, or that's without mentioning that there's 2 satellite providers. 2 satellite providers, 2 cable providers, and that's it. You can't get HBO East, West, United States, whatever. You're stuck with a bunch of Canadian channels and a couple of American channels. So if you want to watch Showtime fights, forget about it. If you want to watch international fights from all over the place, you can't do that. It's not like in the United States where you can get what about? Yeah.
And it's HBO Canada.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot to say.
It's not the HBO from the US. So sometimes they don't even show fights because they're showing some Canadian programming.
Or if it's Adonis Stevenson, somebody else gets that fight so that it has to be pay-per-view, so you can't watch it on, you know what I mean? Or like when Jean-Pascal fought, they didn't show it on HBO Canada, they showed it on pay-per-view. Can you imagine that? A Jean-Pascal against Unieski Gonzalez was pay-per-view here. You couldn't get it on HBO Canada. So anyway.
That's shambles, man. What a shambles that
is.
So
Pascal lost that fight as well.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is this, just to finish off on that, which is that if cable providers actually started giving lower prices, sensible prices, because they are overcharging. That's their business model. I understand. But if they actually started to charge normal fees or acceptable fees, I'd pay for. People would be paying for cable. I pay for it, but I pay for the bare bones version. All right, the bare bones version means 0. I don't fucking want to watch cable. So when these people, if they offered us a sensible amount, fine. That way I would get the live fees and all that, right? That's what I do. But I don't pay extra because I don't want to pay extra for something that shouldn't cost that much. So it's all about what I'm trying to say is that if you're not going to charge sensible prices, people are going to look for it for free on the internet. That's the way it works. I think studies have demonstrated that. So that's my little rant right there.
I think I'm cutting down my cable channels and what I have.
I think you should, man. I think you should.
Or I'm gonna start making my kids work for that.
The thing is, man, I have a TV in my room, man, and I've got all the channels in my room. I don't fucking use them, man. I don't even watch the TV. Like, you know, I have the music channel on now and then, you know, which I have now, which is what you can hear in the background. But other than that, I don't watch the TV, man. So I'm paying for basically fuck all because I didn't watch it.
Okay, so do you pay for ASC? Do you have that over there?
Nah, man.
You don't have ASC over there? Do you even have the option for ASC, or because we can get it over here?
What is that?
The ass eating channel.
The who?
The ass eating channel. They have that over here. I'm surprised Cameron doesn't have it.
I know. Listen, man. I knew exactly what you were going to say, man. That's why I stayed muted. I know exactly what was coming.
I don't know.
You don't have the ass eating channel.
Yeah, the ass eating. I didn't know if that was going to work. I just slid it in there just to see if it worked.
I knew exactly. Oh, listen, man. I thought, listen, I've never heard of that, so it's going to be some sort of fucking dig at me, so I ain't going to fucking answer it.
You know I'm kidding. You know I'm kidding. But anyway, listen. Let's move on to a little boxing again. I was reading the news, and apparently Jeff Hearn, he's going. You wouldn't think it. The guy looks like a nice, normal guy, you know, quiet and all that. But he's really going after Terence Crawford. Last week he said that he hopes Crawford doesn't get scared again and pulls out of the fight. And he says that his friends have been tracking Crawford on Instagram and that they've been seeing him playing bowling, which doesn't make sense apparently since he has a hand injury. So I'm thinking this, man. Hearn is trying to get under Crawford's skin. Crawford is cool as a cucumber usually. He always fights well. He usually controls the rhythm of the fight. Do you think Hearn could get under his skin and then with his crazy style and his strength, do you guys expect him to give Crawford problems, or is this an easy one for?
Not mentally, no. I mean, Crawford's a guy who came from the hood, man. He's got shot at and everything. So I don't think, you know, some guy like Jeff Hearn, some guy called Jeff Hearn's going to get under his skin. I mean, in terms of the hand injury, it's obviously was never an injury, man. They just couldn't sell tickets. I mean, the whole thing with Pacquiao, wasn't it, about Pacquiao Alvarado, that fell through. So when that fight didn't happen, they had to move it back. So we're going to sell tickets in time. That's all that was about. So, you know, and obviously Jeff Hearn. In the ring, I feel Jeff Hearn can make, could actually, Jeff Hearn's massive, man. He brings pressure. He's going to bring pressure to Crawford, and he's going to be, bigger, much bigger guy in there. But so I feel like it'll put up a good fight, much better than someone Victor Postol did, who was bigger than him. So I feel like it'll be a good fight in the ring. I don't see how Hearn wins a fight, but nah, man, I don't see him getting under Crawford's skin at all.
Well, who else? Like recognize what?
Good try.
What's the question?
What do you mean? What's the question? We've been talking about it for 2 minutes. Haven't you been paying attention?
Pop out of the room.
You were out of the room. Did we give you permission to get out of the room, or I don't understand? When did that happen?
I don't ask permission, boy. I don't ask permission. I needed a drink.
All right.
You had to go make sure the woman who he choked out of the scarf still unconscious in the basement.
Yeah,
oh, come on.
She's still out cold. She's still out cold.
She's still out cold. No, we're talking about Terence Crawford and Jeff Hearn. Jeff Hearn's trying to get under his skin, and I want to know whether you guys think it's going to work, or is Crawford just too much of a professional and too good to fall under that type of shit talking?
I'm not sure Crawford's the sort of guy that's going to take much notice of it, to be honest with you. There's a lot of fighters that bite and do get wound up. We saw it David Hay in the first fight with Badou. Certain fighters lose their rag, and it's energy wasted because it does take a lot of mental energy away from you. And mental energy also matters in a fight. You got, that nervous energy with David Price, that is beat before the fight's even started because he's, like I said, his tank's half empty because he's burning off nervous energy. When you're arguing and getting on Twitter beefs, it takes a lot of mental energy off you, and it don't make it 100%. So a professional like Crawford, I expect him to brush that aside and get on with the job.
Now, recognize, you were saying that you think he's trying to, but it's not going to work, right?
I mean, I don't know. I can't say that for sure with Crawford. He seems like a cool customer, but you know, he looks like he can. It's easy to get him riled up to get into a fight from certain videos that I've seen. I don't know if that'll translate in the ring, but I don't know. I think Hearn is a more difficult fight than. We'll see how it plays out if they do fight, but I have a feeling he's going to be a more difficult fight for Crawford than most.
Is this fight not made yet then?
It's not even made yet.
Oh,
nope.
This is what I mean about boxing. Do you know what I mean?
I thought it was done.
Like Crawford last fought was it July against Ndongo? Like we're talking almost a year. Crawford's been out now, man.
August.
I
know. It was in August, Cameron.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, but by the time
been out for 9 months.
But by the time he's going to be fighting Hearn, he would have been out for a year, man. He could have got 3 fights in by now. He could have made,
And let's be real, it's going to be 3 months. It's going to be a 3-month camp as well. So the fight's not even signed. So to put 3 months on top of that as well, I mean, we could be talking next autumn.
But you know why I'm so interested in this fight? Because it sets up more talk of what I think is the best fight in the welterweight division, which is Crawford versus Spence. Now, I don't know realistically if that can happen because of the different promotional sites, but I think, the Spence fans, the Errol Spence fans, they are seriously underrating Terence Crawford. That being said, Jeff Hearn, like recognizes saying, he's a tricky opponent. He's strong. He has better defense than you can see at first glance. He knows how to fight on the inside, make it dirty. I think this is the best inside fighter in terms of dirt, of filth, of illegal type tactics that Crawford has ever fought. And I don't know. Then again, Crawford loves it when guys come to him, especially when they leap forward so he can catch him with counter shots. But if he looks bad, the Spence fans are going to jump all over him, man. That's why I'm interested in seeing this fight. I'm really looking forward to see how Crawford looks. By the way, people in the chat room are saying that Crawford's been talking shit about Lomachenko. I mean, listen, if he wants to talk shit, he wants to talk shit. I'm interested in the actual fight. And I think Crawford's too big for Lomachenko right now. So forget about it. They both have bigger fish to fry right now than each other. There's too much
jealousy.
of a gap. Was that?
Jealousy.
Yeah, I think Crawford's
jealous of Lomachenko.
Who cares?
I think he's jealous of Lomachenko. He knows he's the much bigger man between the two. And so, it's almost playing out like the Gennady Golovkin and Andre Ward situation.
Yeah, exactly.
And by the way, I'm looking here at the month of June, which is, and it says, according to ESPN, it's a Jeff Hearn versus Terence Crawford, June the 9th. So apparently they think it's already set. I don't know. I don't know. Have they done Have they done a press conference, or have they announced it as official, or?
Well, I don't know. I'm looking at BoxRec.
They haven't.
I'm looking at BoxRec. There's no scheduled fight between them.
There's no press conference. There's not been announced. You don't see Top Rank posting about it. It's not official yet, man.
Huh. That's interesting. So why the fuck does ESPN, are they jumping the gun here, or they're assuming that it's going to be made?
No, the fight's going to get made. It's just, they're just taking a piss and getting it made. That's what I
think. Okay.
Yeah, when Crawford goes in the ring, it'll be a 10-month layoff that he's been in.
No, it'll be more than that, man.
It's true that it's June 9th. If it's June 9th.
No, it won't be June 9th, man. We're the 8th of May now. It's not been announced. No, man. I reckon it'll be about August, September time, that fight.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. I think if it's August, September, you're talking about a guy who's been sitting down for a year.
In his, arguably, entering his prime as well.
In his prime, yeah, these are the best years of his, he's entering those best years of his career. So,
absolutely, man. Now, Crawford really does need to stay out of trouble, because he's, in the past, I think 2 years, he's already had 2 incidents where, he's getting into fights or altercations. He needs to get the hell out of Oklahoma. It's kind of like with Tank Davis, when he was in Baltimore, he was getting in trouble all the time. Crawford needs to get out of there, because this guy is way too talented for us to see him ending up somewhere bad, either in jail or dead. I mean, this guy, I do think he's one of the best fighters in the world. I mean, I know you guys don't think his resume is all that, but I think he is. Oh, you think he is? Okay.
I wasn't talented. I think he's the best.
I think he's the best fighter in the world.
Oh,
I don't think he's the best fighter in the world, but I think he's top 3, top 5.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's very subjective, you know what I mean? When it's Crawford, Lomachenko, but for me, I think, Crawford is. I've just always been high on Crawford. Like, I think he's just a guy.
All right, now you just reminded me of something, and I'm going to start with Recognize. All right, Recognize. I think I don't know if I ever asked this, but now that we're thinking about it, because one of the best fights that I would love to see, if I could make one fight that's very difficult to make, would be Crawford versus Spence. What's one of the fights that is very difficult to make, but that in a fantasy world you would like to see happen right now?
Well, that's one of them. That's for sure. I would like to see that fight happen. Another fight that let me see.
Quite a few, to be honest.
That's quite a few. Yeah, that's one.
Just one. You can only pick one.
Only pick one?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I only had to pick one fight, then give me a second here. I would say a fight that's off that it's not mainstream to me. It's I would like to see Ward and Andre Ward. You know what I mean? Kovalev. I like to see Kovalev and Vivo.
Kovalev and Vivo.
Fight I want to see.
You know what? That's a good fight, but that's not the hardest fight to make. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's a good choice.
Oh, hard fight to make?
Yeah, one of those that seems impossible, but that if you could make it as a wish or something, boom, that's the one.
I know mine, man.
All right, Recognize. I'll give you a little time to.
Spence and Crawford.
All right, so he's on board with me. All right, what about you, Karen?
Mine being the lower weights, man. I'd rather see probably someone like Rumbansai against Inoue. But obviously now Inoue's at bantamweight, it's probably not going to happen.
Okay, see, that's a good choice because it's something that could be, that seems very unlikely to happen, but that if you had the wish, see, that's a good one too. Stu, what about you? All right, we're gonna change.
He's just gone back to the basement. He'll be back in a minute.
He's tightening the noose. Is that what he's doing? She's trying to escape, so he's got to go down and make sure she's That's the worst. That's the worst when they try to escape. You can't. How can you trust somebody when they try to escape a cage in your basement? That's ridiculous. Pavel, how about you, man?
So his victims don't run out of the house. That's what it is.
Can I say something?
I just want to
ask a question. Okay,
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, Pavel, what about you? What if you're there? What type of fight would you like to make right now? That's very unlikely to happen, but that if you could make it happen.
I don't know if it would fit the terms of unlikely to happen, but right now I'd like to see Fury versus AJ.
Whoa, okay. Fury versus
I think that is unlikely to happen. It will happen, but if Fury's with Warren now, then Joshua's with Hearn, so.
But it could be.
There will be a lot of shit going on in between before the fight even actually gets confirmed. So.
Now, do you think that if these guys make that fight in England or whatever, and it becomes a huge event, do you think Frank Warren gets jealous and he ends up showing up at a press conference drunk with a Luger in his hands? Or is that just my imagination running wild?
Yeah, I think that's a bit of your imagination, man.
All right. I can understand that. All right, Bucho, sorry, you want to say something?
Yeah. What's his name? Badou Jack's fighting Stevenson, right? Mm-hmm. Badou Jack was a fighter at 168. If Stevenson knocks out Badou Jack, are we gonna be saying that he defeated a smaller guy?
See, that's interesting.
No, man. Badou Jack's massive, man.
That's why. Well, I mean, bring that up. Like some of these people bring up smaller fighters.
Exactly.
But Stevenson, you got next to Triple G. Stevenson was a 168 pounder before as well, man. So,
but that's the thing.
Well, I don't know. That's what I hear about. Like, for example, Rigondeaux and Lomachenko. Lomachenko was a 126 fighter, and then he moves up in weight, and all of a sudden, he's a big 135, 130 pounder who's fighting a still small guy like Rigondeaux.
Yeah, but they both started the same weight, though, didn't they? Like Stevenson and Jack both started at the same weight, so. Realistically, no matter what way they fight, I mean, like you've seen a press conference, man. Badou Jack's he dwarfs Stevenson, man. Like Jack weighs a lot more than Stevenson.
Yeah, but
a lot of people get confused, man. They get confused about this weight stuff. Mm-hmm. Look, okay, Vanez and Triple G. Vanez was the bigger guy in terms of height, and they what was the weight the night of the fight? 2 pounds difference. I mean, they're basically the same. They're basically the same size. Remember Graphite, that guy Graphite that's trolling your channel? He said that he was bringing up. He kept making mistakes. He kept saying that that this kid Russell Jr. is not even ranked at 130. I'm like, because he never fought at 130. That's why he's not ranked. He was ranked at 126. These guys get confused. Badou Jack is a bigger man than this guy
Stevenson.
You know, that's Stevenson. Yes, he's a thick dude, but Badou Jack is just as thick as him, if not thicker and bigger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to give him credit, man. You got to give Stevenson credit if he wins this fight.
Absolutely, yeah.
No, just bringing it up because there's always these people who are like, oh, well, this guy just fought a guy from a lower weight division.
Exactly.
They start making all these excuses.
No, fuck those guys, man. Fuck those guys who say that.
But it's a good point that Bucho...
Yeah,
go
ahead, man.
No, go ahead, Pavel. Go ahead.
When we are still on the Badou Jack topic, one fight I'd like to see is Jack versus Kovalev. That would be a good one.
Yeah, that's a good aside.
I want to see. I really want to see Beterbiev get back in the mix of this light heavyweight division, man. Like, he's a forgotten man. He's the other guy with a belt, but he's a guy who's lost in the mix. I messaged his manager last night to see what's going on with the situation, and they're not giving me any information, man. And we're talking about a guy who used to tell me everything about Beterbiev, and now they're just so quiet on him, man. There's something going on behind the scenes of him, man. I'm not liking it at all. For me, he's just out of the loop. He's not fighting. He's still not out of his promotional contract with Yvonne Michelle, and he's getting lost in the mix, and he's 32 now. So, what a waste Beterbiev is.
Yeah, that's turning out to be a sad situation. I mean, you're talking about a guy who could potentially be the best guy at light heavyweight in a very talented division, but there's no noise on him. There's nothing at all. So, you know,
he's had one fight. He's had one fight in a year and a half. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to get those promotional problems sorted out, man.
I'm about to take a shower.
Yeah, we can hear that. And I hope you're not naked now, man, because that would be.
I'm not naked now. So
all right.
Naked talking to other blokes.
I'm gonna mute my mic, get in the shower, and listen to you guys.
Don't tell me that, please.
Oh man, that sounds just just don't touch yourself, eh?
Cameron's gonna be talking.
No, you don't have to worry about that, man.
All right. So meanwhile, Recognize is gonna jump and scrub himself. Stu is still tightening the noose around the girl in his basement. So I guess it's just Bucho, Pavel, Cameron, and myself. Hopefully more people start jumping in. By the way, I think this is a good opportunity to remind you guys to please like, please subscribe to BDA Live, hit that notification button, and stay tuned for more good stuff here. We're gonna be back tomorrow, by the way, just to tell you right off the bat.
Can we get an appearance? Are we gonna get an appearance from Gaia 500 tonight?
I'm pretty sure we are. Speaking of Gaia 500, you read Gaia's mind. It has something to ask you there, Cameron.
What type of computer is it?
It's asking you what type of computer do you have that you just bought?
Oh, the new one. I've got a HP, man. I went from an ASUS to a HP, man. It's very fast. And loving it, man.
All right, it wants to ask you something else.
Can I fuck it? Can I fuck it?
All right, see, that's disgusting. Can I fuck it? Ugh.
That's enough. I think he's talking about the podcast the other day where we were talking about fucking machines and now in the Second Renaissance, was it?
Yeah, Second Renaissance. And let me tell you something.
Yeah, man.
Did you? I think I told this story before, right? About how in Spain there was an expo, an exposition about technology, and I think it was about sex robots. Because in Spain, you got to remember, man, they're very sexually liberated over there. They're very sexually open, and so they had this convention about sex robots and all that. People over there broke the robot. They soiled it and they broke one of its fingers. I don't know what they mean by soil, by the way, but I can imagine what they're talking about in the article. And that's disgusting. So that's going to be the future with robots, man. People breaking a robot apart, and that's disturbing to me.
Go ahead.
No, yeah, I'm just saying it's disgusting to me. The sex robots. I mean,
we should talk about sex bots in Second Renaissance. That's a good topic because from what I'm seeing in the internet, there's a lot of an outrage, especially from the female population, unsurprisingly.
Yeah, but the thing
let's
is,
talk about
man,
it.
like you're talking about those sex robots, man. They've made them so realistic. You see them on the TV and that. Like, they look proper human and shit. Like, why would you want to do that, man? Like, how would you get pleasure out of that?
Exactly.
I think Apology Man would disagree with you there, Cameron. I think he probably think. Well, I mean, maybe not Apology Man, but those more hardcore MGTOWs, they don't want to deal with women at all. So I think they'd rather fuck robots than to actually have to talk.
Apologies against all intercourse and stuff. So he wouldn't even go near fucking one of them, man.
Nah, but I think no, I don't think he's against. I think you're kidding, right? Like you're exaggerating. You don't think he really is against.
No, yeah, of course I'm joking, man. But
okay.
Like he doesn't like anything that I talk about anyway.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think he's more of a prude, a bit of a prude. I'll just say that. But in terms of
yeah,
go ahead, Pavel. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just have an article, a headline: "Sex robots epitomize patriarchy and offer men a solution to the threat of female independence."
Okay, so let me get this straight.
Bullshit. That's why we have to talk about it on Second Renaissance, guys.
But let me get this straight.
Yeah, it's a good topic, man. Good topic.
But let me get this straight. Their logic is, or the logic of some women is that fucking robots is patriarchal. So if we fuck women, that's sexist because we're using them just for the bodies. But if we don't fuck them, that's misogynist as well. I mean, can these people make up their minds already?
Yeah.
Everything is sexist.
It's just double standards and hypocrisy. They're allowed to fucking fuck their dragon-sized dildos, and men just have to use their hands. Right?
Dragon-sized.
What I noticed is like, if you're a bloke, if you go around fucking a load of girls, you're called a player. You know what I mean? You're called a fucking fuckboy and shit.
Yeah.
Whereas if you don't, you get called a good boy, you get called a fucking puffter and all this shit. You know what I mean? So it's in a lose-lose situation regardless. That's why.
We're in a society where the universities have brainwashed these fucking idiots into playing the victim, no matter what it is. Mm-hmm. If you're not a person of colour, you can't play the race card, so you're gonna have to find another way. So if you're a woman, you'll use the woman card, the feminist card. Mm-hmm. If you're a fucking a ginger, you'll use the ginger card. Whatever it is, if you're an Asian or Muslim, you'll use the Islamophobia card. Do you know what I mean? It's just there's so many avenues have been opened for people to play the fucking victim card, and it bores the life out of me.
How can you respect people who value victimhood over achievement? I mean, that's
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
when it's a bloke that get plays the victim, they get fucking laughed out the building.
I tell you what, do you know what? The biggest cancer to the West, right, are universities. I'm telling you now.
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Have you seen some of these professors? Have you seen some of these teachers and professors? They're fucking fluffy, duffy daffodils in their fucking hair, loopy boom babies from the 60s, aren't they? There was this fluffy little fucking diverse world of theirs. No kids because no one wanted to fuck them because they're that ugly. Do you know what I mean? So they've got they're in this fluffy little left-wing liberal world they live in, and they're brainwashing students to be like that and play the victim, and and equal rights for everybody, and transgenders are allowed to have their own fucking gender. They can't be a man or a bird no more. Now they've got their own toilets and everything else. It's just it's ridiculous.
They're weirdos, man. I had this professor.
I want to challenge you because you're a man and you like women. Why don't you like transgenders? What's wrong with that?
I thought you were in the shower, bro.
Yeah,
I'm out the shower.
Oh, right. Christ, man.
Please, man. I'm a bit worried, man. Like, you listen to us in the shower, man.
Cameron, you think I was talking to you guys naked? Come on now.
Well, you're listening to us whilst you were fucking robbing yourself in the shower. So
come on, man. Cameron is on fire today, man.
Message. Fuck X. I heard what he said on the comment section.
What did he say?
Let me have a look.
Oh, you should kick recognize off, BDA. He's naked listening to your channel. He's on HGH and he can't control his hormones. Well,
recognize you bailed him out of prison, man. So you should be fucking happy with.
You're cutting off, man.
Yeah, Cameron, I try to tell you, be careful with this kid. He's an ungrateful bastard.
Yeah,
that's
man.
right.
Well, you're gonna have to learn on your own.
If it
I've
wasn't,
got respect for both of you, man. No, I've got respect for X. I've got respect for you, bro. So yeah.
if it wasn't for Recognize, X would be in prison robbing other guys. Let's just put it that way.
Exactly. That's exactly what would happen.
Exactly. Now, getting back to boxing a little bit, because we're gonna have to go not soon, but you know, pretty soon.
Stu, you're moving rappers in the background, ain't you?
It's about time I made a bit of fucking noise.
I was gonna say, man. I was like, fucking, that's Stu, innit?
I'm actually eating for once in the background. Usually it's
fucking recognise a fucking
steak or fucking Hamid sniffing. If it's not Hamid sniffing a line, recognise cooking a steak. It's fucking boxing style eating Cheerios.
Shit on the toilet.
Cameron playing fucking Beethoven in the background. About time I made a bit of noise.
That was an accident the other day, man. Fuck's sake.
By the way, we were talking about you know, universities and pushing agendas and all that. I think I wanted to save this for the end. Did you guys see that video of Adrian Broner and Gervonta Davis?
Yeah, I did, or I tried to watch it. I mean, it's just unwatchable. I feel like my IQ dropped by 20 points. Fuck, man.
Well,
all I've seen is Gervonta Davis giving Floyd Mayweather shit on Twitter. Indirectly.
Really? Okay, well, let me just set the stage for what we're talking about. Jack Spax, one of our listeners, at the beginning, before the podcast started, talked to us about a video about Adrian Broner trying to kiss Gervonta Davis. And I said, look, listen, maybe they're playing around, maybe they're horsing around, but watch the video.
No, they're homos.
But that's what I wanted to say. Adrian Broner is watching the camera, and he's got Tank Davis sitting behind him. And then Adrian Broner leans his head backward and tries to kiss Gervonta Davis. And if you watch closely, for a millisecond there, Gervonta Davis automatically leaned forward, and he was about to kiss him, and then he leaned back and said, "Oh, what the fuck?" But initially, it seems like it was an automatic reflex, like as if they've done this many times before. Now, listen, over here at BDA,
the camera's not there, he would have kissed him. That's what he's.
Yeah, maybe it's just a low key. Yeah, maybe it's
hold on.
a low key.
Let me finish, please. Let me finish.
I smell another jar roll on the cards, man.
Let BDA finish.
Let me finish. Yeah, just real quick. I mean, here at BDA, we respect people of all walks of life. We don't judge anybody, and I just want to say that good for them. They should just come out, because like they say, the truth will set you free. I don't understand how come nobody ever saw this coming. Pax. What's his name? Pax, who sent us the video, he said he wanted to come in here and talk about it, and how he thinks that this is something that's pretty common in certain areas of the LDBC. And so all I gotta say is good for them, for PBC, for Broner and what's his name, and Tank Davis. Yeah, Gervonta Davis. And I think, you know what, Adrian Broner doesn't have a fight announced yet, but I hear he already released the track to which he will be coming out to the ring before the fight night. We're just gonna play a little snippet of his track right now. There you go. I mean, why not? And here's the other thing.
Adrian Broner, man.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
the only man I've ever kissed was my father. And
in the mouth?
Like at the age of 8.
On the mouth?
Like tongue kiss?
Not on the mouth, you know, like on the cheek, like
tongues.
No,
so wait, he was shoving his tongue down your throat. That's disgusting.
Like on the cheek. Yeah, no. I was kissing my father in the cheek, and then at a certain point, that didn't happen anymore. You know?
Well, what cheek are we talking about? The cheek on the face, or the Vince McMahon style kiss my ass type shit?
Listen, man. I've never kissed a bloke, man. Apart from on a New Year's Eve one day, on one night where me and my mate were pissed and we had a fucking smooch on New Year's Eve, man.
Okay.
If that makes me homosexual, then I guess I'm homosexual.
Like Apology Man would say, you know his catchphrase.
I lost respect for you.
I'm kidding. Hey, listen. As long as you didn't...
listen, man. It was just a bit of a... I mean, I was kissing a load of girls that night as well, but I thought, fuck it, might as well get a bloke in there, you know what I mean? My mate came up to me, I thought, fuck it, why not? New Year's celebrated the right way.
Look, listen, that type of shit weirds me out, but who cares? At the end of the day, I mean, yeah, you know, it is what it is. I don't see the big deal of people, you know, being so ashamed. Like these people, like Broner and Tank Davis, they should just come out and say it. And I just, hey, listen, we like sucking each other off, and there's nothing wrong with it.
We're homosexuals. Just
exactly.
We got kids, man, but we're homosexuals.
Now let me play you this.
Like, do you know what? Do you know the
what
Graphic Pod is just put in the chat, right? Graphic Pod is just put in the chat. Tank Davis is sweet. Now, I thought there was something a bit funny about this guy. I didn't want to. It's not the sort of. No, but it's not the sort of thing you say to someone when he makes his debut on your hangout. By the way, mate, you're homosexual. You just don't do that, do you?
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
He's a sweet boy. He's a sweet little boy.
Hey,
Tank Davis is sweet. Fuck's sake.
By the way, who's...
Just thought I'd get that one out there.
Butcher, who just came into the hangout? Is that Boxing Style?
Yeah, he wants to test his new headset.
It says Anna, though. It says someone called Anna's in the chat.
Yeah, who the fuck is Annabelle?
Oh, wait, what? I don't know.
Boxing Style. Boxing Style.
Anna?
Hey, come on, lads. Now, man, you know.
Come on, baby. What's up?
There's a lady in the chat. Let's be gentlemen here. No swearing.
Is Boxing Style joining the chat, is he?
Boxing Style. Boxing Style, you're transitioning.
Phones where it's a girlfriend phone because he can't have his own phone.
This is
don't be intimidated.
This is concerned MILF, I reckon.
No, it's Boxing Style. Boxing Style is transitioning. Boxing Style is transitioning. He wants to be the next Bruce Jenner. Come on, leave him alone. It's his right if he wants to.
No, Kelly Maloney.
Oh yeah, the next Kelly Maloney.
I want
that's
to get
true.
into an argument with concerned MILF and then invite it to my house.
Oh, that's how you're gonna do it. Huh? That's how you're gonna play it.
A one-on-one chat.
I didn't know your wife was into threesomes, man.
All right, now listen.
Are we getting Anna to speak or what?
Nah, we're gonna wait for Anna to.
It's Boxing Styles.
It's Boxing
Style, baby.
What's up, bro?
Yeah.
Why are you using the Anna account?
What? Oh, it's my sister's.
I find it a bit.
That's what I thought.
man.
I find it a bit.
You're a woman.
Hey, man, it's my laptop, bro. It's my laptop.
I thought we might got. I thought we was going to get a sexy Russian called Anna come on and talk about boxing. Instead, we get Boxing Style, man.
Don't you know in Hollywood, man?
We got fucking boxing.
He's Anna on Sundays. He's Anna.
No, fuck this shit.
Just like a fucking drag queen.
Boxing Style. Do you wear your sister's underwear as well?
Oh,
yes,
oh man.
No, I don't, bro.
Boxing
Style. Shit out of here.
Boxing Style's got a part-time job as a ring girl, isn't it?
All right, that's it for me.
Boxing Style, I bet you get along well with Miguel Cotto's son, don't you?
I'll be right back.
Or maybe Boxing Style is like Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs, you know?
He's just jumped off the cool, man.
I think Boxing Style is during the day and at night.
Anna comes out.
You know, like Stu said, I thought he was gonna be some Russian girl. She goes like, "Yeah, I like Golovkin. I got Golovkin. By the way, guys, do you like blowjobs?"
This man, like, I think it wouldn't be surprised me if Boxing Style was dressing up as a drag queen because usually he's on fucking video cam. He wasn't on this account, was he?
Good point. Very good point. Very good point. All right, now.
Yeah, but like I said, very disappointed. I was hoping. I was hoping to get Anna Kournikova, and we got Boxing Style, didn't we?
Prime.
Man, that was a little bit of bait and switch, man. I saw Anna. I thought we had a female on the line. I thought she might have been sexy. It's fucking Boxing Style.
That's right.
You basically recognise. I hope your wife ain't listening as well, man, because you're basically admitting that you were going to fuck her if she came round.
The Punisher says.
I wouldn't go as far as to say that, but
the Punisher says Boxing Style has pics of Oscar on his wall.
Would surprise me.
Yeah, dude.
Would surprise me.
No. He
has damn sexy.
He has Ryan Garcia as his laptop background as well.
And by the way, people.
Man, I made a big mistake putting up that shit.
Oh yeah. The first mistake.
Ryan Garcia's screensaver.
What's it called? You know those pop-up things that pop out on your desktop of a woman dancing. What are those called? Where it's like on the corner of your screen you can set something up where a woman starts stripping.
That's ancient. That's so old.
I've never had that before, man. Sorry, I haven't on this laptop anyway.
Never had that.
Nah, man.
I have a question for Stu.
That pop up in your
go. Go on, Butch.
You guys hear me?
Hold on, Stu. I know your stance on the LGBT and all that shit, but let's say Ryan Garcia is able to bring more boxing fans, but they're from the LGBT. Would you be down with that, or?
No, because they're gonna. No, They're gonna do what they always do. They're gonna demand their own little rights. They're gonna try and change the rules of boxing, innit? Oh, where we're allowed to put fucking a bit of mascara around the eye. Do you know what I mean? And things like that.
Ring card boys.
Yeah, they're just they're gonna want their own way. I've got no problem with homosexuals. Don't get me wrong. But go and do your own thing. Go and play fucking water polo or something. Whatever you can do. Leave boxing to the fucking real boys.
Sounds to me like someone's a bigot. Sounds to me like someone's a bigot. Yeah, go ahead, Boxing Style. Go ahead, Boxing Style.
Tank Davis got them DSLs. Man.
What does that mean? Those what?
Dicks up lips.
Oh, Jesus.
I'll say, I've never had so much cock in my life.
Fucking water polo.
But before I hit the road, I need my cock sucked.
Essentially saying that the LGBT should get their own boxing.
Yeah, nah. I'm only playing, bro. Like I said, if a gay guy wants to fight in a boxing ring, there's no problem. But I don't want it to be turning out. Have you seen one of them LGBT marches where they're all guys wearing thongs and they're fucking got. walking around dressed like roosters and shit. I don't want that.
You don't know. Montreal is the second biggest LGBT city in North America after San Francisco.
Yeah, we're talking about South. When I bought this computer, I fucking turned it on. My screensaver was the San Francisco Bridge. I soon got rid of that fucker. Do you know what I mean? I soon got rid of that fucker.
Stu, I bought my new laptop today, and my screensaver's a fucking Antarctica man or something. I don't know what the fuck
is it. Well, I'll swap the Antarctica for the San Francisco Bridge. How's that for you?
And by the way, Stu, when are we gonna see a gay parade going through the neighborhood, the Muslim neighborhoods in London? Is that ever gonna happen, or?
No.
Yeah. I'll let that happen.
The only time that'll be happen is their dead bodies going through the streets of Egypt.
Oh my God!
Dragged through the streets like Colonel Gaddafi was. Do you know what I mean?
But seriously, exactly. I mean, seriously, it's the 21st. It's the 21st century. Shouldn't it be about time that London, and especially because it's a diverse community, London now, right? You have people of all parts of the world. Why don't they do a gay parade in the Muslim neighborhoods? Why not? What's wrong with that?
Because people are going to get fucking slaughtered.
Because the liberals don't want to upset the Muslims. You should know that.
I don't know that. I'm not from England. I don't know how it works over there.
Oh, well, London is Cook City of Europe, mate.
Cook City.
Fucking Cook City, mate.
We got London in the house.
Does London have gay parades? Because in LA they have so many, man. I never visit that shit. I stay far away from that motherfucker.
Yeah. I mean, like I said,
the closest I've ever been to is in Beverly Hills when I was filling up my gas tank, and all of a sudden I see this guy with the rollerblades and just like.
Let's be real. I'm going to keep it real. Let's be real. I'm going to keep it real. Muslims don't just go around attacking gay people and bisexual people.
Yeah, you have to clarify
they don't do that. Of course they don't. But there's a difference between walking down the street and minding your own business than marching through their areas. There's a difference. Do you know what I mean? And you got to remember some of these guys that they're walking around dressed like fucking roosters with thongs on. Like I said. And it don't go down too well when you got Jihadi John watching you, does it? You know what I mean?
I tell you what.
Jihadi John.
Like, I don't know if London has it, but you ever heard of the slut walk?
He's fucking.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the slut walks. Yeah, they have them in Toronto.
You think there's only one? You think there's only one Jihadi John? There's fucking loads of them, mate.
Yeah,
what the hell is
the one who's going around fucking beheading people on fucking TV, dead man. I know that.
Yeah, but he's just one Jihadi John, mate. There's loads. There's another Jihadi John step to this place, mate. Don't worry about that.
That sounds like the Puerto Rican Day Parade.
Oh.
I wonder why they call Manchester.
It's so dead now. The Puerto Rican Day Parade over here in New York, because it was so violent. Like in the 90s, early 2000s, that shit is dead now.
It was because of the Dominicans, huh?
No, you can't blame Dominicans for that.
The
I mean, don't get me
Dominicans.
wrong. There were Dominicans that were getting into fights with Puerto Ricans, but it was more like, you guys ever heard about those girls that got like sexually harassed right on TV?
No, never heard about that.
At the Puerto Rican Day Parade. This happened like in I want to say 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was the beginning of the end of that.
Well, didn't I hear that?
It got caught on video camera, and that's something that always happened, always.
Well, I heard that, and I don't know if you tell me if this is true, but wouldn't they board up the streets that led to Fifth Avenue because they didn't want the Puerto Rican parade to go through there because they were afraid they were going to start looting or something?
Well, yeah, probably, yeah, towards Fifth Avenue. Now, the day before the Puerto Rican Day Parade was Uptown. That's the dangerous one. Because it was in Harlem, like.
But
Spanish
why
Harlem.
were they afraid? Like, did they ever loot during the Puerto Rican parade? Because otherwise, why would they board up those? If there was no precedent of looting, why would they barricade that?
I don't think there was. I don't know if there was looting, but there was fights. Like a lot of fights that led into like other people's business, and that kind of stuff. Breaking store windows, like not a riot, but like maybe somebody throwing a bottle and some shit like that.
Right.
Nothing's crazier than the West Indian Parade in New York.
Who's breathing down the mic?
Every year somebody gets killed. Every year.
What?
They have it and somebody gets killed every year.
Who the fuck's breathing down the mic? Sound like they're having a fucking nostril or something in the background.
I don't know.
Panel.
Someone's breathing down the mic.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Right, yeah, it sounds like you're getting fucking sucked off, man, or something.
I'm just having a cigarette. Sorry, I'm gonna mute myself.
Are you vaping or are you actually smoking a cigarette? All right,
smoking.
Smoking. All right. As long as you're not, doing what Broner and Tank Davis do to each other, which is another type of smoking.
I'm not gay.
All right. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there's something, but I'm just saying it's not good for your health, probably, because fucking Michael Douglas got tongue cancer because he was eating pussy from Catherine Zeta-Jones. So I don't know what would happen if you're sucking dick. I mean, maybe.
If he's getting tongue cancer from eating pussy, then fuck, that's messed up being arsed. Fucking hell.
I'll tell you what, mate. That's one thing you don't mind getting tongue cancer.
Okay, who's listening to the show?
What the fuck was that, man?
Yeah, we can still hear the show in the background.
Sorry, that's my hangout. I'll click the button off. Yeah, I was just saying that.
I take a shit.
I was just saying that's something you don't mind getting tongue cancer for, isn't it? Doing that to Catherine Zeta-Jones. I mean,
that's a good
point.
Hey,
you're sitting there having chemo on your tongue, just thinking, well, it's well worth it.
what would they say at your funeral though? Like, oh, we lie here today. Somebody who ate pussy and died of tongue cancer. I mean, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, well, I mean.
I don't think the priest is going to put it quite like that, Cameron.
All right, listen. This show is really going off the rails now. But yeah, I mean,
not every week.
Was that? What do you mean, like every week?
Like every week, I said.
No. I disagree. We talked some boxing for about an hour and a half, and then we started talking about other stuff. Why not?
Well, why don't we talk about Jean Pascal coming back?
Should we mention the Patreon again?
Yeah, go ahead.
So we have a Patreon going now because we want to start a call-in show. So we're asking for donations so we can pay. Oh, we also want a podcast. So we need a subscription for that so you can download the podcast. So that requires a subscription. And a subscription for a call-in show so we can actually have callers call in from using their phones, obviously. So that's our next plan. So if you can help us out, just check out our Patreon page. The link is in the description.
Yeah,
I'll go over and have a look, man. I'll go over.
Yeah, and we're not asking.
Imagine if we have a call-in show. It's going to be fun, man. We got to have fucking people calling in and shit. It's going to be fucking funny, man.
Yeah, so we could have the people in the hangout and then we could have calls from different types of people. And
well, we can have the people we have right now in the hangouts. I think I would let these people in, like talk with the callers. But new people, I think we have enough people, right, for the call-in show.
Right. And then again, that could be problematic too. Like sometimes we have too many people, and so everybody starts talking over each other. Everybody wants to ask a new person something, another question, and so it could get tangled up. But we'll see how it works. But the point is, we opened the Patreon. Fuck, how do you Patreon? Why can't I spell the fucking word? Patreon. We had the Patreon set up.
How do you say it? BDA?
I was gonna say Patreon, but apparently it's Patreon. Like
French.
You say it like
El patrón.
Patreon.
El patrón.
Come on, ¿por qué no? Órale.
Hey guys.
Yes.
Hey guys, I'm assuming that you guys heard about the Frank Warren shit. I heard you guys talking about it. What do you guys think about it? That's like it was thing, right? It was he said Ego said that he signed it. From what I remember, that was the case too during that Daniel Jacobs fight. That Saunders signed it, but Triple G didn't. Is that contract still there?
Say again.
Like Billy Joe Saunders signed it, but apparently Triple G didn't because he was waiting for the Canelo fight.
Signed what? What did he sign? I don't understand.
The contract.
To fight who?
Contract to fight him.
Boy Charlo.
Who else?
Oh, okay. I didn't hear about that. Where did you hear that?
Ego, but actually, I've heard that shit without even Ego saying it. Ego just like recapped on that shit. That he signed it. He was waiting for Triple G to sign it back, but they never did because they were waiting for the Canelo fight. But they could do it right now. They could sign it right now. I guess I'm assuming. I'm not sure. Maybe it's a different date, different place to mix it up.
I didn't hear about that. Anybody? What do you guys think?
Could care less, to be honest.
I'm not sure about that. It's on Ego's channel.
I didn't hear exactly what you said.
Oh man, I'm far away, man. Because
to be honest, man, I really couldn't care less about that.
I really want to saw this fight, man. I want to see how it'll turn out.
See.
Yeah, I want to see it. I want to see it.
Canelo doesn't work. Canelo don't work out, and Devinchenko is IBF title that they're gonna force on Triple G. So they just might as well just go to Saunders and get unified.
That's a good. I mean, listen.
That way you could avoid the mandatory and go for the Saunders. Chase for glory.
Why not? Yeah, listen. I like the Charlo brothers. I like watching them fight. I'm not a big fan of their personality or their character, but when it comes to inside the ring, man, these guys deliver. These guys deliver the goods inside the ring. So
I'm not talking about Charlo though. Charlo can wait. Charlo has to fight Danny Jacobs.
All right, now you got me confused.
I'm talking about Devinchenko.
Oh, Devinchenko.
He lets Devinchenko go, and then he goes after Saunders. It's because Canelo's not around.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
It would. Why not?
But I don't know what's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. That's gonna be interesting. Any move that Triple G makes after this is gonna be signs of maybe duckery or who knows.
Well, boxing style, you gotta
maybe ducking somebody. Maybe. Possibility. If he does the right choice, if he goes Saunders, no one's gonna say anything about it. If he fights Devinchenko, I don't know. It won't be duckery, but it's I don't know because he's getting old and they're kind of getting scared of maybe he'll just one day just give up. He might not do as good.
I don't see what Charlo. You're talking about Charlo, right?
No, not Charlo, man. Charlo, as I said, he needs to fight Daniel Jacobs. It's Devinchenko or Saunders because I don't think that Canelo fight's gonna happen.
Saunders. Okay, yeah. Saunders fight. Yeah, I mean, I would like to see that fight happen, but
I'm a Triple G fan, man. I hope he makes the right decision. He's saying Murata. I don't know. Murata is okay. But
Murata, that's a good fight.
Yeah. Big money, though. That's probably why he's going to. If they could, appeal to IBF, they could go to Murata for money purposes.
Yeah. Why not? I mean, the guy's at the end of his career. Nobody wanted to fight him in his prime, so fuck it. If you can make bigger money, less risk, I guess so, I'll do it.
I can't give him shit because before they didn't give him the fights that he wanted. So if he's doing what he's doing now,
you gotta understand when the guy was trying to make fights, there wasn't really there wasn't that much money on the table, so therefore there wasn't really that many guys willing to step in. Now that he's older and he's got more of a bigger name, so he's more money. Now guys want to fight him, but it's not worth it to him. He's going to make it. He's going to make choices that are worth it to him.
Yep.
Why is everybody
silent? BDA taking the shit?
Huh?
BDA taking the shit?
I hope not.
So obviously Bucho's jumped off and BDA's obviously gone, disappeared. So great hosting, great hosting, guys. Great hosting.
Parents out of the house.
Right then, boys. Let's
talk about arse eating whilst they're gone.
Nah.
Let's see what people are saying.
I've had enough of that.
I suppose it's a good time. Oh, apologies on the line now, man. Apology, welcome to the show. I'm currently hosting the show. BDA's fucked off.
What happened to him?
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the
Pop Tart Gun says GGG Boxing Welfare Program.
Hey man, there's haters, but I mean,
can't find my fucking
Triple G is Triple G still. It doesn't even matter if he doesn't fight.
Boxing star. Have you ever had an enema? Because you seem to have a lot of shit, man.
What am I talking about?
Cameron.
I'll tell you what, boys. I think we should. There's not long left. I think we should just talk a bit of boxing. Let's get this fucking Linares Lomachenko predictions out of the way. I'm gonna ask you all, Cameron, who you got?
Fuck's sake, man. Lomachenko.
What round?
Well, wait a minute. Should we do this right away? Get the predictions right now, this early in the week.
Early predictions.
All right.
Early predictions.
What are we gonna do? Hold it until Saturday night, 2 minutes before the fight. Let's get the predictions out of the way, man.
All right, that sounds good to me. So go ahead, Cameron.
I think Lomachenko wins. I think he stops him in the 9th.
Stops him. So do you think he gives him a beating, or do you think he just
corner stoppage, man.
All right.
9th round, Lomachenko.
9th round, Lomachenko. Okay.
Not competitive either, at all.
Not competitive. Jesus. All right. Let's go to apology then. Apology, Mike.
Whoa.
What are you? Why does it sound like you're in a microwave, man? I don't understand this. Just speak and let's see how it sounds. All right. So who do you have, Lomachenko or Linares this weekend? Who do you have?
I have Lomachenko. Yeah, is that good?
No, it's not. It's not good. But anyway, keep going.
Okay. I've uploaded a video on my channel.
Ah, okay.
So
it does sound like he's in a microwave as well. It does sound like he's in the microwave.
It sounds like he's in Joseph Fritzl's fucking basement at the moment.
Again with Joseph Fritzl. Do I have to bring you up
again? I did a prediction on my channel, so go check that out.
That's better. That's better.
Yeah, that's a little better.
Okay, so not still plugged there as well.
Yeah, check out Apologies.
Yeah.
What's the name of your
channel? Tell me what you think. Am I right? Am I wrong?
Check out
my audio, stuff like that.
Okay, to check out Apology Man's channel. What's your channel? Like, what do people just write your name or?
Apology Man. Yeah.
Apology Man Boxing. All right, Apology Man Boxing.
Just Apology Man.
Apology. Write a comment in the section of this video when you get a chance, so I can click on the link and follow you.
Yeah, actually, in the chat, it's not gonna show up, but send me the link on the Hangout, so we'll put it at the end of the on the description of the video.
Stu, you sub to my channel, man.
Yeah, of course I am.
All right, fair enough, man.
Apology, you make videos.
Yeah, just one so far.
Oh,
I'll sub to your channel, man.
All right, there you go, guys. Subscribe to Apology Man's channel and check out his video. So you don't want to give us your prediction. You want us to go check out your channel.
I'll give my prediction. I think Loma stops him in 10 rounds TKO.
Did you say Linares? I didn't hear correctly. Did you say Linares stops Lomachenko?
No,
sorry, Lomachenko stops him in the 10th round.
10th round. All right. So there we go. We got another. I'm writing this down, by the way, because I don't want to forget it all. All right, so who's next? Who's next?
You guys want to hear mine?
No, we don't. No, yeah, go ahead. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Linares
first round knockout, bro. I think Lomachenko would take him out. I think Things assessment, what's his name? Cameron's assessment is pretty good. 9 would be. I'll roll the dice and say earlier than 9. Probably say like 7, maybe.
7.
7.
All right, 7-round stoppage.
9 is pretty good too.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so we got 7-round stoppage. Pavel, what about you, man?
I actually have a similar prediction to Cameron. Jorge Linares is going to get stopped by his corner in the 10th round. So yeah.
All right, so we got Pavel 10th round stoppage. All right. And,
are you writing it down?
Yes, I am. Just in case.
Oh, you fucking
I'm writing them all down. Sorry, that's just the way it goes.
I guess you didn't have to write my shit down with 12 round bounties versus.
No, I didn't need to write that one down. That was unforgettable. That one was unforgettable. It's legendary now. All right, Recognize. What about you, man?
I'm gonna go Lomachenko stoppage in the 7th round. I'm gonna say Linares is gonna have his moments. Might even stun or drop Lomachenko.
Wow, man! Lomachenko. He's definitely gonna hit him a little bit.
I think he's gonna give a Loma. I think this is gonna be a great fight. BDA. I think that in the end, Lomachenko wins convincingly by stopping him. Because it's gonna be too much. But I think he's gonna have his moments early. They're gonna happen early.
I don't think Linares wins a round.
It depends how Linares comes out. He needs to push the pace straight away from the first bell.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say Linares has his moment in the 1st round, and then Lomachenko wakes up and stops him in 7.
Yeah.
All right.
First few rounds are gonna be close.
I'm gonna be a bit different here, guys. I'm gonna go a Lomachenko unanimous decision.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
I can see that.
I think Linares is not going to do a Rigondeaux on us. That's for sure. He's not going to quit, right? But I think Linares brings enough power and enough ability, really, for Lomachenko to be a bit wary and play it smart. I think Lomachenko's going to piece him up. Don't get me wrong. He's going to piece him up, and he's going to win the fight quite comfortably. I wouldn't be surprised if Linares is there at the end of the 12th round.
You know what, man? I think the corner stops him. I just think Linares, his face, he gets cut up easily. He's got a lot of scar tissue there. I just think he's going to get cut up, man. I think his corner's going to get him out of there.
I think the ref stops it.
Still, Linares is pretty chinny.
I just think Linares is going to get bashed up, man. I think his corner will just put him out because he's not winning the fight.
Well, hold on. We want to get Bucho's prediction, and we haven't gotten it.
I'm at the corner store, so.
That's not a prediction. That's not a prediction. What is that? Your prediction?
Bucho, ask the person at the till what they think of the fight. What do they think they're going to do in the fight?
Yeah. No.
All right, but
Bucho,
seriously,
while you're there, can you pick me up some chocolate milk?
Yeah, and picks two up a new scarf. He already broke the other one he had.
Shaken, not stirred.
Shaken, not stirred. All right, so
get boxing style some fucking cereal as well, man.
And get Apology a new microphone, man.
Get on some get boxing style some Fruit Loops.
Yeah.
And by the way, now I have
disinfectant for that fucking shit that he's always using.
All right, I have. By the way, I have Apology Man's new. I just got Apologies Man's microphone. Let's see how it sounds when I talk with it. Hello, everybody. How are you? Everybody. Yeah, hello. Hello, everybody.
What the fuck was that, man?
Can anybody hear me? Hello, everybody. How are you? Hello. I'm trying to talk to you. Can anybody hear me?
Apologies.
What the fuck?
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
All right.
My prediction is Loma wins. Bye.
Hey,
is it really that bad?
No, it's not that. Well, not now. But sometimes it sounds like you're like there's some sort of like a LFO effect in the background. Like,
it sounds like you got like a cannabis factory going in your house. You're in it, man. The fucking things
Right.
going on and shit.
And by the way, I just realized that your Apology Man impression is a lot like the Linares impression, except that it's on a lower tone of voice.
Yeah, it's a lower tone.
It's a lower tone. There you go. All right, so Butch is
I think Lomachenko's gonna win.
A fucking clown.
All right, my prediction. You guys want to hear my prediction or fuck it? We move on.
No, I want to hear your prediction. You gotta give your prediction.
Fuck it, move on.
All right.
Yeah, you gotta. Wait, time out. Now wait a minute. You know, this my.
Wait a minute.
Are you making fun? You motherfuckers are making fun of me, huh?
Nah,
you think I'm gonna?
You gotta give your prediction, man.
You think I'm gonna have that?
He's gonna pick Linares. I guarantee you.
You think I'm gonna have that? Well, hold on a second.
Wait,
First of all,
this alarm is Mexican.
do I have to? Do I do my prediction with the Apology Man microphone or? Hello, everybody.
Yes,
How are you?
Yes.
This is Mr. BDA. This is Mr. BDA giving you a prediction. Prediction. This is a prediction. All right. So here's my prediction. I can actually talk. What else? All right, guys. I'm gonna give you my prediction, and all right. That's enough of that.
Sounds like it's in water.
That's enough of
Doesn't
that.
even fucking out of space, man.
All right.
Fucking aliens come back to this fucking Earth or something.
Apologies in the chat room saying this is the respect I get. Come on, I'm just having a little bit of fun here.
Apologies and a reptilian.
He's a reptilian. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? All right, prediction. You know, Boxing Style said that I was gonna pick Linares. No, I'm not gonna pick Linares. But I'm going to actually go with the same way as Stu went. I think Lomachenko by decision. But I think late in the fight, he starts fucking Linares up. I think it's going to look a lot like the Gary Russell Jr. fight. I think Linares is going to make it competitive, but I don't think he comes close to winning. With that being said, fuck, what was it? We were going to talk about something else before we left. Oh, yes. Did anybody see Artorius' video about Roy Jones and the comments he made about Golovkin hitting Martirosyan late in the fight or after he went down?
Yeah, it was spot on.
Yeah, I watched it.
Nah, man, listen, if that was Roy Jones, man, he would have been disqualified.
But I mean,
have you seen Roy Jones' face when they before the fight with Canelo and Triple G, when they were showing the highlights of Canelo and Max Kellerman and Triple G and Canelo were all in the same room?
All right, your microphone is sounding just as bad as Apologies, man. What the fuck?
Okay, all right.
Yeah, man, it's
getting close. I'm getting close. All right.
It's getting worse.
Have you seen that video where Canelo and Triple G and Roy and Kellerman were all in the same room, this black room, and they were showing highlights of Canelo's knockouts?
Oh yeah.
And then they showed highlights of Triple G's knockouts. And the face that Canelo had, Roy had when they were showing Canelo's highlights over Triple G's was priceless. I mean, like, you see a smile on his face when it's Canelo. When you see Triple G, it's like he doesn't want to even look at that shit.
I'm gonna have to rewatch that, man.
Dude, he's not like interested. Like, oh, look at this. This is more interesting than Triple G's knockouts. It's weird.
You know who else he didn't like? You know who else he disliked for a long time was Vladimir Klitschko. I mean, listen, I understand if you're going to dislike somebody, and I know people out there in the chat room love Vladimir Klitschko, but if there's anybody that you could easily hate was Vladimir. That being said, Roy Jones was supposed to be an unbiased commentator, but you could tell... Apology, what the hell are you doing? Apology, what are you doing? Yeah, he's falling asleep. We're boring him. We're boring Apology.
Is that Ahmed?
Apology, man.
That was Ahmed. All right, so... All right. Oh shit. All right.
What the fuck?
What I'm saying is Roy Jones is supposed to be unbiased, but he was biased against Vladimir Klitschko, and you can tell, like Boxing Style is saying, you can tell that there's something there about him and Gennady Golovkin. I don't think he likes Golovkin all that much for some reason. Maybe it reminds him of.
It's asked about all the time. Like people always ask him, like, "Oh, who do you think would win if you were back at middleweight in your prime and stuff like that?" A lot of people say Golovkin, don't they? So
I think he reminds him of some Eastern European fighter that he never fought. I don't know.
Darius Mikhailski.
Maybe. I don't know.
I never liked Vladimir Klitschko either. I thought he was boring as fuck, even though he was efficient.
There you go.
I mean, I liked that he was Russian and he was defending, the nation, all that shit. He's like 10-year champion, but I didn't like his style. It was bored the fuck out of me.
Too much grabbing.
Yeah, all right, it's grabbing, and it's like he's sticking his jab out, like gauging and waiting for that right hand. Waiting for that right hand. And he's like, he has that reach. So whenever they come in just like they do with Wilder, but Wilder's horrible at it. And he just like moves aside, goes back, comes in with the right hand.
Apology, you gotta stop. You gotta stop yawning on the mic, man.
Vlad, I think he proved in the Joshua fight, even at like 40 years old and past his best, when he got dropped, he just let it all go. He thought, "Fuck this! I'm not getting behind the jab. I'm just going to take it to Joshua," and he beat Joshua up for a few rounds in that fight.
I don't think so. I think he went all out, he probably would have finished him. He probably would have. He was like cautious. He's like, oh, he got hit, and afterwards, I don't think he got hurt that much.
Go and watch the round he got dropped. He was throwing everything, mate. The problem is he just didn't have it anymore in the tank.
No, he's too old, man.
Yeah, maybe the age probably plays a factor. I'm not going to say anything about that, but he was jabbing him, overthrowing right hands, man.
That's because he was dry, man. He just didn't have it in him, man. He just didn't have it in him anymore.
But when he took it to Joshua, he was beating him up. Let's be real. And
I agree. Yeah, he in that fight. It's strange, right? In that fight, like I thought that was one of his better performance. In terms of action.
When you look at a round, do you look at a round where Klitschko was knocked down the first time? It was the 5th round. Joshua had him all over the joint. And then you look at the end of the round, man. Klitschko was having him against the ropes. Joshua was laying back on the ropes, falling back into the ropes. Yeah, Klitschko was probably doing a job on him in a lot of part of that fight.
All I saw was AJ going round and round and Klitschko jabbing after that knockdown.
Well, remember, you got to understand something. He's going to fight him different because
I know he's being cautious. Yeah, he's being cautious, but he's the bigger man, actually. Klitschko is the bigger man in that fight. He had the more power.
They're just about the same.
All right, listen, guys. I hate. Sorry. I hate that we this good discussion. It started too near the end because we have to go. But before we do, Precise, are you there? Calling Precise. I don't think he's there. I think he just showed up.
What were you saying you were saying something to apology before we got cut off, man.
Who?
You were, man. You were like apology and you got cut off.
Yeah, I was just saying that it's a shame that we gotta, because this conversation is very good, but we do have to go. So
yeah, I gotta say one more thing. I've never seen Klitschko go all out like loses balance and all that shit. Just fucking throw all kinds of crazy shots. Like I don't say AJ does that shit, but like Wilder kind of stuff. But even as AJ, like close, when he gets close and he sees the killing, he just like sees blood, he goes like all over the guy. I don't see it. I've never seen Klitschko do that. He's more of a technician.
I'm here.
Oh shit.
Hello.
All right. Yo, Precise, we're about to go.
What's
but
up?
Good to have you on. We're about to go, but since you're here, we're starting early this week. We're giving our predictions for Lomachenko versus Linares. So if you would like, you can give it right now.
I think Lomachenko is gonna stop him in the 11th round on TKO. I don't know, maybe cuts, maybe he'll just overwhelm him with the barrage, and he's gonna have him in a fetal position, saying no mas, basically.
But do you think the fight is competitive up to that point, or does it start off right off the bat Lomachenko dominating?
Oh no, the first 6 rounds I think are gonna be competitive, and I think Lomachenko is gonna be cautious and careful in the beginning. And as far as one thing I wanted to say, as far as Klitschko goes, he was far more exciting than Anthony Joshua. So you guys don't know what you're talking about, and that's that.
Well, all right.
Watch Klitschko's first 17 fights and tell me he's not only more skillful and more fun to watch,
a lot more exciting.
That's
But
a good
you
point
put,
about
you put Klitschko in the ring with the same bums that Joshua's been fighting, and you're gonna see a very exciting Vladimir Klitschko. He's not gonna be going no 12 rounds with Takam. He's not gonna be going no 12 rounds with Parker. But that's just my take on it. That being said, yeah, you're right. The guy was boring.
I do admit that he's more of a technician than AJ, but I don't admit that he's more entertaining than AJ. That I don't.
Of course he was. Of course he was. You just gotta watch his first 20 fights, man.
I'll do that.
You haven't. That's why you're saying that, because you haven't. It's a lot more exciting than Anthony Joshua ever was. But hey, Anthony's young and he still has a lot to prove. So that's that. Loma all the way.
Okay, so haven't you watched Joshua's all his opening 20 fights?
What's up?
Haven't you watched Joshua's all of his fights?
Oh, I've seen more, about maybe six of his last fights.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so all right, so listen.
It's important fights then you fought.
The best fight Joshua was in my opinion, is when he almost got beat up by Vladimir Klitschko.
Yeah, that's by far.
Too bad.
No, I gotta say Parker was better.
I think someone's misrecast.
His best performance was, to me, Dominic Brazil.
You know, the funny thing is, they were talking so much shit about Parker, like about to get knocked out. He's not the better boxer and all that shit. I was exact opposite with that. I was like, he's gonna show him something.
I had my doubts.
Hey, that Klitschko that we saw against Pulev was awesome. That night.
He would have knocked out Anthony Joshua.
I agree.
That Vladimir Klitschko would have knocked Anthony Joshua out.
Clean out.
Yeah.
Stocks. Comments to you.
That was one of his best performances, man. That was the last time we saw Pete Klitschko. That was.
By the way,
of course, that's my opinion.
But how would that Klitschko do against a Tyson Fury? A prime Tyson Fury?
Still get beat, man.
Yeah, I think Tyson Fury has his number.
Hey, by the way,
I don't think so.
By the way,
I think Vladimir would have. I think Vitaly for sure would have beat him.
I think the Vladimir. I think the Vladimir that fought Pulev that night would have knocked Tyson Fury out.
I think that last round with Tyson Fury, he kind of felt Klitschko's power. Tyson Fury. He got clipped with a nice left hook. I remember that. And I don't think he wanted anything after that. Maybe that's probably the reason why he went retired on coke.
Klitschko brought nothing to that fight. He just wouldn't let his hands go. He was just getting outworked, basically, and Fury wasn't doing much himself.
No, I
like Tyson Fury, and I think he's a very good fighter. But I think the Vladimir Klitschko that we saw against Pulev that night, on top of his game, I think he would have caught up to Fury eventually. I think it landed.
Fury's a shootout. It would have been a shootout, man. 50-50 shootout kind of a fight, I think. With prime for prime. I would pick Klitschko prime for prime, but, maybe Tyson Fury's best is yet to come.
We'll see.
Don't know, man.
His dad be saying... His dad be saying that... Yeah. He said
you can't disagree with the maybe statement. It's really difficult to disagree.
Fury's dad says that he's seen him the best ever, like in his shape or whatever, his movements. I don't know. We'll see.
What I like about Klitschko is he'll always find a way to his opponent's chin. I mean, if something's not working, he'll find another way to get there. And he did that with Joshua. He found out with Joshua. He was trying to use the straight punches against Joshua. They weren't really working. Then he realized that when Joshua was coming in, he realized that the left hook was the weapon. And when Klitschko started landing his left hooks and his uppercut, they were the two shots that Joshua couldn't get away of. And Joshua was actually looking for them shots. And believe it or not, it was straight right that took him out, sort of thing, because he wasn't expecting it. You could see he had his eyes closed when the shot was coming. Didn't expect it at all. So very clever fighter, Klitschko. Just didn't work enough in certain fights.
If he was a little bit younger, he would have stopped. Anthony Joshua for sure. That's my opinion. Again, just an opinion.
That's the thing. So I think what happened was, because he was afraid that he's old. He was afraid that his age would catch up on him because that's why he was jabbing him for 3 rounds, 4 rounds. Because he was afraid, like, if he goes in and tries to kill him, it's just he's gonna be the one losing all the stamina if HH somehow gets a win back.
Correct. That's why. To me, he lost the fight because he was older and wasn't able to give the effort that he was given in the past. You know, so if he would have been a little bit younger, like, you know, guys with the Pulev fight, and that Pulev, that Vladimir Klitschko would have finished. He would have finished Anthony Joshua. He would have finished him. I mean, and it's just not Anthony Joshua. I think he kills Deontay Wilder. I think he kills him. I don't even think he breaks his legs or something like that. Who?
Right now, if he comes back, he kills Wilder.
Wilder versus who?
Breaks Wilder's face. The way
right now, if he comes back, definitely.
You're talking about Klitschko versus Wilder?
Yeah, definitely. Klitschko
42-year-old.
Klitschko Pulev. I think he breaks Wilder's face. Yeah. I think he breaks his face.
No, I'm not talking about Pulev. I'm talking about the one that fought Joshua. Or
maybe, yeah.
He beats Wilder, in my opinion. Not now, but the one that
no, I think now
the one that fought.
It's hard to say. You haven't seen him fight.
I haven't seen him fight, so I'm not going to say. I'm going to give Wilder the benefit of the doubt.
I got to see Pulev fight.
Beat him now, who hasn't. You know, the guy's been inactive for over a year.
Pulev has to fight somebody, so I could tell.
I think Pulev is done. Like the Klitschko beating affected him. I think it's done, in my opinion.
He needs somebody to fight. Anybody with a name.
Dylan White.
Dylan White's not.
All right. Well, on that note, was that?
No, go on, bro. Sorry.
Yeah. We're gonna have to go now soon, but just real quick, somebody made a good comment. This has nothing to do with, well, very little to do with boxing, but it's somebody in the comment section. I forget who it was. Said, oh yeah, it was Aldi for real. Said Vitaly Klitschko once got Sacha Baron Cohen in a corner in some restaurant and said he didn't like the movie Borat. Sacha almost pissed his pants. If you guys don't know, Sacha Baron Cohen is the one that did that Borat movie. And I'm surprised Vitaly would say that, because the guy's from Ukraine and Borat was making fun of Kazakhstan. But I'm surprised that movie didn't become more controversial, because he's essentially making fun of a whole nation.
I fucking hated it. I hated that film.
Why did you hate it, Steve?
I liked it, man.
You know, it was just pathetic, trashy, just badly written.
It was good in the beginning, and then it fucking sucked at the end.
Yeah.
So,
I like when he played Ali G. That's
yeah.
Like when he,
that was good.
I be kicking it with my man, my main man, Sir General Brokov.
I mean,
the one that been in World War II, right?
You know what's interesting about that movie, though? Replace all the Kazakh people with Africans, and all of a sudden, most of you guys won't find it funny. Weird, isn't it?
Oh, I would find it funny.
Yeah, I doubt it.
And apparently, Shepherd's Sons and Hakuna Matata say they were born. The Klitschkos were born in Kazakhstan, apparently. So that would make sense why they would be insensitive about.
Yeah, because let's be real, he did. He made the Kazakhstanis sound like fucking ISIS members, didn't he? The way they treat the women and everything else.
But that's what
he's like my wife, first best prostitute in all of Kazakhstan.
Precise brought up a good point.
Man, it had its moments.
You know, the thing is, though, he's an English Jew, isn't he? That's the thing about him.
Well, that's the interesting thing, because Precise brought up the good point about he can make fun of that race, but if you make fun of another race, that like replace Kazakhstanis with another race, oof, all of a sudden you might, well, whatever.
Yeah, but he had one. He made fun of the Jews. You don't remember that scene where they were in the
dude, I don't watch trash. I don't fucking watch that garbage. What the fuck? What do you take me for?
2 cockroaches ended up in the room. He's like, oh my god, they turned into cockroaches.
Yeah, but see, he's not making fun of Jews there. He's making fun of the anti-Semites. as if all Eastern Europeans are anti-Semites.
I've never seen the film, man. To be honest.
Yeah, me neither.
Good for you, man.
I didn't watch the thing though. What's that stupid ass gay ass shit that's out there? That
Bruno. That's the other one he made. Yeah, didn't see that.
I'd rather watch fucking LDBC than that guy's movies, man.
Yeah, I agree. And by the way, most of that
I've not seen Borat or Ali G, man. To be honest.
I like what he said. Booyakasha! I'm here with me main man, Pat Buchanan.
Oh shit, that's a
Ali G was pretty funny actually because he was controversial. He asked questions that a lot of it was tongue in cheek. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, boxing style. Come on,
tongue in cheek.
I'm sorry.
It was tongue in cheek and it was comedy, but he put some people on the spot. I know he had some I forget who it was exactly, but he was interviewing some like high up there officials, and he was grilling them, man. Like they thought he was for real. Like they thought he was, and he was all in character. And these people thought he was like a real journalist asking them questions. Like it was pretty cutting edge, actually. Ali G, I thought so.
Precise back then was way less PC, so he could just do it wherever you want.
Yeah, that's true.
Ali G, I think it was quite funny with Ali G. If you watch his interview with David Beckham, he ripped the Beckhams apart. It was quite funny back then. But
I did watch that one.
He ripped the back. He made me laugh because he was going to Wales, you know, the country where Kazagi's from. And he goes, "We're going to see Wales, not the fish with the biggest dick in the ocean."
What about when he had an interview with a feminist, and when he had an interview with a feminist, and he tells her, you know, I like to say the word. Sometimes I call me Julie a bitch, you know, like, hey, bitch, get doggy style, so I can. And the feminist is just looking at him like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, they thought he was for real, man.
I like that scene where when he goes to buy a car, the Borat movie. He's like, "Is this a pussy magnet? Because if it's not a pussy magnet, I don't want to buy it."
All right. By the way, before we go, Precise, did you watch the Broner Tank Davis video that Bucho sent you?
Unfortunately, yeah.
So what's your analysis? Homothugs or borderline homothugs since they didn't actually kiss?
Bro, those are not homothugs. Those are faggots, bro.
Oh, jeez. Using that word, man.
What's the difference?
Homothugs pretend to be their
I know the definition. I know.
And they're out in the open, is what he's saying. I think that's what he's saying.
Homothugs are for real, man. Like they'll kill you, bro. Like they're just as vicious as just thugs in general, except they take it up the ass. But they're vicious fucking killers, man.
Tank is a thug, though.
Let me just say this. What to what Precise was saying. Over here in the West Village, right, in Manhattan, where they all at, right? They will jump you and beat the shit out of you. They're like a gang. And they're dangerous. They're really dangerous people. When they're together, no, they're hostile towards like straight people.
So you're saying they travel in packs?
No, they are for sure. They
travel in packs.
They're like a little gang.
I don't know about that, man. When I was over there, they tried to sell me some CDs. It's like, all right.
Oh yeah, I mean, depends on what type of night you were in. If you're there on a Saturday night, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, when they had a few drinks. Boxing style, they might take you. They might kidnap you.
they're like, you want to squabble? I'm like, hell yeah, let's squabble right now. And they're like, oh.
And by the way,
I didn't even know what squabble was at the moment.
Boxing style.
You sure that's not euphemism for sex?
No, man, he's fighting. That's what
it means.
Yeah.
Boxing style. If you introduce yourself as Annabelle, like you did at the beginning of the show, baby. Then yeah, they're gonna try to recruit you there, man. All right, so listen, guys, this was a great show. You guys were on fire more than ever, more than usual. So you guys were sharp tonight. Jesus, Luis, I couldn't keep up with you. But anyway, we had some good conversation about boxing.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, there's gonna be another one tomorrow, same time. I want to thank everybody that showed up. Stu, recognize. Yeah.
I heard your favorite film is Brokeback Mountain. Is that true?
Second favorite film. Don't get it twisted. First one is the adaptation of Jesus Christ Superstar. That's my number one. All right, listen. I want to thank.
That's Steve's favorite film as well. Mountain.
Oh wait, I just got to get this.
My favorite film is The Human Centipede.
Oh, all right. So
I
yes,
haven't got a favorite film, man.
Has anyone seen? Has any of you not seen The Human Centipede?
No.
I've seen the first one, man. The second one's even more disgusting.
You're on your own, BDA. Take it easy, guys.
All right, see you, Precise. Take it easy. Thanks for being on, by the way. Thanks for showing up.
I suggest you don't watch the second one. It's so bad.
The second one, the ending is horrible.
What's the ending?
Oh, it's bad.
Well, basically, the girl escapes and she has a baby. And to escape the fat little guy who's kidnapped her, the baby's hid and then drives off. So the baby's just born, and then she just puts her foot to the pedal and just squashes his head.
You know what? Hold on. I like how Apology won't eat ass, but he'll watch those type of movies. I mean, really, what the fuck? Man?
You know what the funny thing about it is, he puked on the most stupidest shit last time, and now he's talking about this.
Apology.
He's not eating shit, so
right.
I'm just saying.
He's not eating shit, man. That's another talk for another day.
Wait, hold on. Apology. Do you think in Second Renaissance we could talk about about those type of movies and how they affect the brain and all that? Or do you watch a lot of those movies, or?
Not really, but
okay.
From now and then when I'm bored, I'll put on something like that.
Okay.
That's a good topic, BDA, for Second Renaissance for sure.
And we also wanted to talk about nutrition, and now that we have Pavel on the show, I don't know, Pavel, would you be willing to contribute about that?
What's up?
Yeah, would you be willing to Second Renaissance and talk about nutrition and gut flora and all that?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Perfect.
I'll be glad. By the way, BDA, when are you going to do Second Renaissance?
If we do it, probably on Thursday. That's usually when we hold it. Yeah.
I've got a nutrition nutritionist now.
Oh, really? Good for you, man. Good. That makes a big difference. Proper nutrition.
Start coming next week, man. Starting on a new diet plan, man.
Is it a he or a she?
She.
Oh. Interesting. Very interesting.
Good time, man.
I heard Matrix does HGH. He knows all the stuff.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Guys, I'm gonna give you a tip, right? If you're gonna work out.
Right.
Oh, good.
Baked potatoes.
Baked potatoes. What are we, Irish people now?
No, I'm just telling you, man. Try it out. Don't knock it till you try it.
I think chicken's the best.
It gives you a lot of energy, man.
Baked potatoes and broccoli.
Baked potatoes, some broccoli, steam the broccoli. You know, add a little bit of butter if you want to, whatever you like to put on it. But I've been doing it, and I've been working out like a beast.
Now, before we go, reverse. When you were training, did you eat a lot of carbs, and that doesn't affect your weight ability to make weight or anything?
Are you asking me?
Yeah. So yeah, recognize. Yeah.
You know, I have to be honest. When it came to eating back then, I never had an issue with weight. Never did. So it was. Now it's different. Like maintaining a certain weight that I need to be in, I got to eat a little bit better. But when I was younger, they didn't really, I was, not to brag, I was always hard as a rock.
He's lying, man. In high school pictures, he's like 300 pounds of shit.
Oh my God. No, but just I eat like a normal young. 18, 19, 20-year-old man, I guess.
Obese.
What's your favorite fast food?
A lot of pizza, a lot of rice and beans.
What's your favorite fast food?
Pork chops.
Recognize. What's your favorite fast food?
Huh?
What's your favorite takeaway fast food?
McDonald's.
My best right now, fast food has to be Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. Yes.
I had that shit. That shit's overrated. I went all the way out to A6. And, tastes like shit.
In and out's pretty good.
In and out, yeah. All right, but
Five Guys is really good.
It's the best.
Five Guys, you should try it.
I've tried it, man. Five Guys. Yeah, I did it.
Is this show gonna fucking end or what, man? I'm gonna go get some fucking sleep.
This is what happens after you go to Taco Bell, by the way.
My favorite restaurant right now is a Colombian restaurant name. It's a Colombian restaurant, and there's a plate that I order. It's called Bandeja Campesina.
Oh, La Bandeja Campesina. All right. If anybody's out in New York, try it out and see if it lives up to the hype.
I got some good pizza in New York, man.
Oh yeah, that's well. Supposedly that's the best one.
Fucking seat, man. Fucking shattered.
All right,
hey man, you're in Britain. Go. Just go.
Cameron, you're gonna leave, Cameron. You have to stay.
Apology
Sorry,
in Cameron.
Nah, man. This help, man. You lot are boring me to death right now with this talk, so it's good, man.
Apology and Cameron are falling asleep. Apology and Cameron are falling asleep, so we better end it, guys. Listen, I want to thank everybody that was on the panel. I want to thank Stu Little. I want to thank Recognize. I want to thank Precise, who was here earlier. I want to thank Pavel. I want to thank Cameron, Boxing Styles, and Apology Man. Check out Precise Sponsors channel. Check out Recognize the Matrix channel. Check out Pavel. Oh, no, hold on. Pavel doesn't have a channel. Cameron's channel. Check out Apology now. He has a channel. If you guys want to leave now, you can go ahead and leave. Thank you very much for your contributions here, guys.
Peace.
Take it easy.
Take care, guys.
All right.
Tomorrow,
Now I'm just gonna give a shout out to everybody in the chat room before I leave. Hold on a second here. Don't forget that like and subscribe. All right, like and subscribe to this channel and to BDA Live. And now let's give a shout out to everybody that was in the chat room or loyal listeners. You guys make this show. Some of your comments were making me. I didn't even get that as much time as I wanted to read your comments because some of them are gold. I want to give a shout out to the Punisher, Fam Ollie, Nicola Ferrari, Grievous, Fam Ollie again, Boxing Fairy Tale, that's right, Hakuna Matata. Who else? James Erickson, I should say. Something. Graphic Prod, why not? Aldi for Real, We Degree, Afshish Vatankana, weird ass name. The Quags, Jack Spax, who was here earlier as well and came back later on. Quincy Phillips, is that his name? No, Quincy Pinola, sorry. Grievous, Pop Tart Gun, Jay Perez. You guys know who you are. Foulpole Boxing was in here as well. Tone, Quantum Hydronomic. We Degree again, Apology Man was in the chat room as well. Who else? I'm running out of time. Hold on a second here. Am I really running out of time? And yeah, you guys make this show what it is. Don't forget to check out our Patreon page where we are gonna have some very interesting stuff. I want to give a shout out again to X was in the chat room as well. Larry Pint, The Punisher, Aaron Kuko, Boxing Comments Club, The Shepherd of Sons. You guys know who you are. Thank you for being on. And we'll see you tomorrow. Take it easy, guys.